Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 100 of Pokerole. We have finally reached triple digits at last, and with that, we have some changes for the thumbnail art, as well as finally a makeover for the table background. So that I put together with a little bit of help from Novel AI. And a lot of work. It doesn't look perfectly at the edges because there's some weirdness going on at warping here and there, but honestly, this is a very lovely result. I'm very happy with it, and it's nice to have a little facelift after seeing the greenery of the previous background. Nice to have a difference. But yeah, so I don't think we have anything for anybody expecting like a super special episode 100. I do believe Car mentioned we don't have anything super special planned for this actual session, but it's still a landmark session all the same, reaching this far. Like, this is, I never could have imagined the Pokerole would have reached 100 sessions, 100 episodes. This is pretty crazy, and I'm glad that we are still having this game and enjoying it. Thank you, honestly, table mates here. Thank you for playing with me for so long. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Yep, it's pretty awesome, Heck, I feel like a lot of games that aren't, like, streamed and such don't last 100 sessions.
Yeah, honestly, it's honestly, I've seen it, and even with my own self, I've dropped off of series before, like, I haven't finished some games or something. Not tabletop-wise, this is the first tabletop game that I've ever had that didn't drop off after, like, 10 sessions or so. So it's like, not stuff I streamed, just stuff I was playing with friends, but, like, it's nice to have a nice, long RPG game going. It's really been nice to enjoy this with everyone, and the audience, too, who have gotten invested, and I really appreciate you guys as well. Thanks for sticking around and getting invested in this story. It makes it all the more enriching to do and play out. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I mean, this game has survived me going through an entire campaign as a player, as well as a game that got through an adventure path for Starfinder, and then moved on to what was going to be a homebrew game that sort of fell off because people just could not schedule, and the poor DM, who is a friend of mine, just, their life is so busy.
That's understandable, honestly. Especially these days. Things have gotten a lot busier for a lot of people over the years, especially over the years we've been playing Pokerole too. So a lot of stuff has happened, honestly, in the time course of this game going on, which has been, what are we? Are close to 5 years now in this game. I don't remember the exact start date of episode 1.
I believe so.
So yeah, a lot of stuff has happened in the world since then.
I mean, 100 sessions, approximately 50 months.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. And then of course there's off weeks and stuff too, so a little bit longer than that. So, but yeah, I guess I should continue to say, though, of course, as usual, that if you like the video, do think about giving it a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, think about doing that as well. But if you really want to help out, of course, come over to Twitch. We're trying to reach a partner over here, but we always need more viewers to do it. Right now, we're sitting at 44 viewers for the start of the stream. That's pretty solid. Thank you for coming by, guys. But we need more, so invite your friends, come on by, lurk if you want to. Talk if you want to. We honestly love to have you. We also have a pretty cool Discord community if you want to check that out, and we also have a Pokerole Discord that you can access off of this Discord as well. We also have a if you want to support me directly, I have a Coffee link if you want to check that out, and I have a merch store, which might eventually be getting Pokerole merch. I am thinking about planning that out soon, but for now it just has Shadox merch, which is also fun. You can check that out at the Streamlabs link down below. So all those links, you can check them out if you want. And of course, I should of course mention that we also have the Poke Pioneers fandom wiki if you want to watch, like, read up on characters and stuff for our game here, or just catch the recap pages for sessions. If you want to catch up on sessions without having to watch hours upon hours of footage, it's a great place to look. All thanks to Inyo, a lot of it, as well as support from others. So thank you again, guys. But with that being said,
Look, about 90% of that wiki is NEO.
All links are in the description, so you can check them out in the description if you want. But yeah, the NEO has done most of the wiki. He definitely has had help, though. I know Kyrio, for instance, was the one to set up in the first place, I think. That's correct.
Yep.
That's correct. So I can't mess with a wiki to save my life. If I start messing with a wiki, I'll break it. So
I apologize, YouTube. I interrupted the intro.
It's fine. Honestly, a slightly longer intro is completely fine. We were reminiscing about the fact that we've reached episode 100. I feel like episode 100 is a nice enough time to talk about how we've reached episode 100. But I'll hand Car over for a recap, but I also would like to note before I do so that there's actually a lot of fan art, and I've actually done a little thing. I made a state change thing for the image here. So I'll be going through this, and the notepad I can do it quietly while Car does his recap, so.
Okie dokie. I kind of want to watch, but I need to do the recap.
Well, I could go over it real fast before the recap if we'd like to. It's fine.
No, I can flip through it during interim points. I'm sure we'll have a few of those.
Okay.
Right then. Last time was session 99. And I dropped way more info than I thought I was going to drop prior to session 100. But I may be getting just a little ahead of myself as I try and stall for time to get to the wiki. As is tradition at this point. I do want to preemptively apologize to Ennio because I have not had the time or energy of late to give them a full description of what information was relayed, because I did the thing where I got a little too quiet last session. So I do apologize for those of you who have been trying to keep up. But we started last session with Alakazam collecting Rhyda from their personal conversation with Hatterene, and told them that their friends had been given a room and they should go to theirs as well. After exchanging some final pleasantries with Hatterene, Rhyda agrees to do as their mentor tells them to, and goes to their room, occasionally spying on Team Cheer through their orb between periods of sleep, which is relatively accurate because the rest of Team Cheer slept for approximately 2 days, if I remember the number right.
Yeah, I think it was about that.
Briefly looks at Twitch chat to make sure I didn't get it wrong.
I think Twitch chat's focused on what I'm showing off, to be fair.
That is also fair.
This sequence is really good.
Isn't it? I love how Ralph was done.
I love
It really has that
is a really
trash
good
can
sequence.
vibe. Brooke there too. Roll.
Also having Brooke and Lizard in the picture. Honestly, there's a lot of little references here, and I really appreciate it.
After taking in the appearance, meanwhile, the rest of the team, prior to sleeping, took in the appearance of the room that you two gave them, which was basically room but with beds tailored to each of you, rather than anything else fancy. You all went to your personalized bed, or in Brooke's case, pool, and decided to rest, with a little bit of conversation before passing out. Everyone eventually ends up waking up due to their own internal clock, since there aren't any real windows letting in natural sunlight here. While most of the Pokemon on Team Cheer who wake up are content to just stay quiet and let the others rest, Noibat wakes up and goes immediately to awaken Florence, leading to everyone else who is still asleep to start waking up as well. Brooke tells everyone that, since they're up, they might as well leave the room and get ready for the trip back. Rhyda also leaves their room and joins up with everyone else, having seen them awaken through their orb, and is standing right outside of Team Cheer's room once they are ready to leave. Not creepy or stalkery at all. Rhyda guides everyone to a kitchen-esque room where food can be served to those who can't bring the food over to themselves. The team enjoys a hearty breakfast, some having more fun playing with their food than others, while Rhyda questions the chef, a Gallade, regarding the specifics of how they evolved. Sometime during the breakfast, an Ndidi walks over to bring the team a letter from Mewtwo, telling them that he'll be ready to give them information whenever they're ready to come up to his abode. Everyone cleans any crumbs or food fillings off their faces and leave the kitchen. We all act like those those plates aren't sparkling clean. To be fair, the facilities in the tower are a bit better than most of those you've seen. And I say that with full confidence that Rise would agree. Rise wishes he could make the stuff that was in the tower kitchen. Lack of ingredients, the worst enemy of a chef. The group makes a familiar climb up the tower into Mewtwo's study, is a good way to put it. And lets them know, as it says in the notes and I said earlier, they've been sleeping for approximately 2 days, much to their own surprise. He then decides to bring the group to the section of the library that contains forbidden books. Rida is, of course, the most eager to enter first, and everyone follows after them into the space. A space that was opened through a wall in Mewtwo's study. However, as Florence, Luxray, and Noibat try to enter with the rest of the group, Mewtwo shuts the door on them, thus leaving them to their bored devices in the study. I'm sure I should have made a glimpse or something about that. Maybe I will. The team sees a blinding white, silent space filled with moving, tessellating cubes, and are guided by Mewtwo towards a series of containers that constantly change form. Brooke asks Mewtwo why he's allowing them to examine the texts that a very small few in the library are able to read, to which Mewtwo replies that even if he only met them 2 days ago, legendary Pokemon tend to be very good judges of character due to either their own powerful abilities or servants in their domain that keep an eye on things so they can trust... Bleh. Oh, that's a bit of a run-on sentence, I'm sorry. So, they can trust Team Cheer enough to give them the knowledge without much concern. After that explanation, Mewtwo sighs and begins to tell the team about the Dead Star. The Dead Star, or Dark Star, depending on who you talk to, is an artificial creation. Similar to Mewtwo, it's a mechanical system stored in a satellite. A satellite which Mewtwo projects images of as Team Cheer listen to Mewtwo wax on about the past. And in fact, it is ancient past. More ancient than its most recent known activities. Approximately 300 years ago, requiring several legendaries to defeat it. Not that defeat is exactly the correct word, since it still exists, and apparently still functions. Multiple legendaries made great efforts in order to destroy their bases, as well as their various places of influence and power, burying them beneath land and sea, limiting the chances of them resurfacing and recreating a link with the satellite. When Brooke asks what purpose the Dead Star was made for, Mewtwo could only say that all they knew is that the Dead Star desired to bring order to the world. But once it and its servants were defeated, the satellite was left to orbit silently about the planet, albeit at a bit of a further distance, thanks to the interference of legendaries like Rayquaza, keeping it away from the world. Unfortunately, despite these best efforts, it could not be confirmed that the Dead Star was ever fully defeated, only injured, and that Team Cheer and their aspects are causing concern to many of the legendaries that it may return and try to act upon its goal once more. Ralph begins putting information he's heard together and realizes something. The creators of the Dead Star were humans, and the reason that humans no longer exist in the world is due to them being wiped out during the attempts to defeat the Dead Star. Though, what may or may not have been apparent to Ralph at the time is that the event that Mewtwo was talking about 300 years ago is not what caused humans to vanish. The event was far more ancient than that, something that Mewtwo did not exactly directly state, but merely implied. This means that only traces of humanity's existence are around in the world today. Mostly through the artificial Pokemon created by them and the ruins of their civilizations. Ralph then reaches another conclusion, or at least presents another hypothesis, that they weren't sent to a new world, but instead brought to a new time, through means unknown. After all, the chances of another world containing a Mewtwo that looks exactly like the one Ralph knows about, a Mewtwo that happens to know about Ralph, as well as Brooke specifically, is highly unlikely. Mewtwo then reveals his own hypothesis as to how the Dead Star acquired so many servants. Mewtwo knows one of the servants, which has the ability to travel through time. The Dead Star must be using them to bring in servants of its own from other times to aid them, much like how the world itself pulls humans into it in times of crisis to aid in the saving of the world. Brooke then recalls a memory of his past, where he'd been berated for sacrificing his old partner, Scales the Totodile, while they were trapped in a valley instead of sacrificing themselves. He recognizes now that the voice was Mewtwo, and chastises them for those harsh comments, but thanks them nonetheless for how their words changed his life going forward, and, as thanks to that, promises to help however he can to stop the Dead Star. Tucker and Ralph agree, also not wanting to help the Dead Star achieve its objective. Mewtwo explains that they don't have as much information as they'd prefer, but they do know that, even if the Dead Star is too far away from the planet to do anything at the moment, there are various facilities around the world created to interact with it. There are some in better states than others, which should be recognizable via streams of light pulsing through the facilities like veins, one such facility potentially being Cladle's cairn. Mewtwo warns them, though, that should they go to these facilities, that doing so will be incredibly dangerous, and servants of the Dead Star will likely attempt to get in their way. Tucker also explains to Mewtwo about how the servants have been bestowing gifts to Pokemon and giving them aspects. Mewtwo is frustrated by this and grumbles about the mirror still being around. They go on to explain that, based on what Tucker has told them, that Shaman was likely being used as a form of incubator to grow these gifts in order to give them to other Pokemon and imbue them with aspects. With Team Cheer being implanted with their aspects before First Awakening, hoping that the growing curiosity about their peculiar abilities, tied with the isolation that they could have felt from other Pokemon, would eventually lead them into also becoming servants of the Dead Star. Brooke tries to say that the Dead Star clearly miscalculated by thinking that Ralph, and Tucker would end up in such a state, to which Mewtwo responds that their plan might be more complicated than Brooke is giving them credit for, and the team will likely continue to be manipulated by the Dark Star and its servants as much as they deem necessary. After all this, Mewtwo offers Team Cheer one piece of aid. He offers to give them a mark, which will grant them access to the library and the ability to locate each of them whenever he wants, for better or worse. Hopefully, it shouldn't prevent them from potentially becoming acolytes of other legendary Pokemon, but it might cause issues regarding them possibly gaining new abilities, or interfere with them accessing their aspect. I don't remember stating that! That may be something caused by my mumbling. I'm sorry, Enya. I am sorry, chat.
Oh.
Yeah, no, the issue is that Mewtwo can't really give you all abilities because of your aspects.
Right, that makes sense. It's like you can't stack that.
Well, yes, and the other issue is that Mewtwo is not really in the same category of divinity as the other legendaries, being an artificial Pokemon that he is. So he can mark you all, and it does confer benefits, but it's not in the same way. But on the bright side, at least it doubles as a library card if you lose yours.
How many books can we check out with it, though? That's the question. Does it let us check out more books than the standard library card? Are we like a VIP library card person now?
No, you can only check out 5 books.
Aw.
Also, I get disconnected.
Yeah, so did
what?
I didn't want to
no.
interrupt.
Oh no, let me save table even though we've done very little. Still let me save table.
That's fine, I will continue.
Okay, I'll re-invite.
Mewtwo also ends up warning Team Cheer that, while it should hopefully persuade most legendaries to leave them be, should they traverse the Dragon's Path again, it will be unable to persuade Eternatus, who is very adamant over the Dragon's Path only being used by dragons. Which is true. Mewtwo did let you all know that his mark should at least kind of help legendaries chill out around you. He doesn't exactly have 100% data on this. You might be guinea pigs.
Yay!
I think it's also important to note Rida is the only one who turned down the mark.
Yes, Rida turned down the mark, but Ralph, Tucker, and Brooke all took it. To be fair, I don't think Rida necessarily turned it down, as did nothing.
No, they did specifically state they didn't want it
Okay,
for their own personal reasons.
that is fine. Oh yes, now I remember, thank you. As a side note, Rida, for most of the explanation about the Dead Star, as well as the fact that, you know, Team Cheer are humans drawn in from another time and or dimension and or world, kinda broke. Which is pretty great, even though I feel bad about giving Hydra very little that they were able to do in that session.
I got to pull off the biggest reveal, which is Rida smiling. Okay, it was worth it.
This is fair. In addition, Mewtwo requests that the team keep the information they have learned in this space private, for obvious reasons, which they agree to do unless they deem someone to be potentially helpful and trustworthy enough to be given this knowledge. During the entire conversation, Rida is trying to decipher all of this information, not understanding how they could possibly have memories of Brooke if they were not only humans, but from a completely different world entirely. They remain silent throughout most of the conversation, only to speak up again upon the discussion of receiving marks, of which they were the only one to respectfully decline. Hey look, the thing we were discussing! Before the team leaves the space, Mewtwo decides to ask the team how exactly their aspects have been treating them. Upon explaining how each aspect has treated them, Mewtwo comes to the conclusion that, even if they are servants of the Dead Star, they act independently and hold at least some form of care for their hosts. Mewtwo then wonders why exactly the Dead Star would require specifically Pokemon with aspects to aid them, rather than just using the aspects themselves as servants, but ultimately decides that they can come to no conclusion on that subject at this point. After completing their discussion, Mewtwo brings the team back to the office. They see Florence and Luxray boredly watching Noibat parody things he has heard from Alakazam, and the three are caught off guard by their return. The team thanks Mewtwo for their help and leave the office, Mewtwo taking away the spoon Tucker had been using to hear their telepathy, and decide to now start the trek back to Sea Spray to help out Shaman. Rida seems to thank Mewtwo for answering their question privately, and follow after the team with the first smile and chuckle they have ever let out, satisfied at the answer they received. As they follow the team, they then ask the team to let them join more permanently and continue to serve Brooke and learn more of their origins, which the team happily agrees to. Brooke then recalls the promise they made to Noibat and tells them that he'll talk to Rise and Pangoro again about letting him join the team, which he thanks Brooke for but seems somewhat more hesitant of than before. And yes, Enio's memory is very good. It is just the write-up stuff in the summary, which, by the way, that was a huge summary of stuff that is on the wiki.
Yeah, honestly,
Like-
and good work. That was a lot to go over. That was a plot.
It was a
episode.
lot, and especially since there was a point where I was being pretty much too quiet for most people to understand. Yeah, big double thumbs up. Because
Perhaps if there is any inconsistencies, which is completely understandable, maybe you and Idio should just one-on-one DM some point, just to correct a few things. I don't know.
yeah, it's one.
Since
it's
it is a
one
very
of those
plot-heavy
things-
episode, it might be a good idea.
Yes, it is a good idea. It is just finding the time to do it,
Hmm.
and maybe at some point I will find the energy to perform some sort of minor edits on the summary of that session in order to make sure it is more accurate.
That's easy to do. Even I, who break wikis, I can still edit. I can add to a paragraph or whatever, or change it. So you should be able to do that easily.
It helps that I often edit things that my main DM era ends up writing, because he works in IT, so his vocabulary and writing skills are generally hampered by the fact he has to deal with people who do not understand the level at which he can think.
Yeah, that's pretty normal for like when you're in tech positions.
It also doesn't help that he has a tremble and also can end up typing so fast. And I don't
Really?
think he has dyslexia, but he'll end up misspelling words, and it's like, it happens.
Okay, this is slightly off topic, but you said, is it like a hand tremble that he has?
Yeah, he has a hand tremble.
Does he know where he got it or what caused it?
I
have a reason
know
for my
he told
curiosity.
me, but
Okay, because
It's-
I gained one at some point myself, and I've been just like, I don't know what, probably stress, but I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, stress and anxiety can do it, but also like sometimes it's just a thing that happens with age.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, it's not a huge tremble, but if I focus on my hands, I can go like, oh yeah, they're not staying completely still. They're like, there's a bit of, yeah.
Well, also malnutrition can do that.
Should I go eat those cherry tomatoes in the fridge? That would help a bit. For an aspect.
I should know, because when I was younger, my hand would end up with a tremble sometime, and I would be very frustrated. It's like, oh yeah, I should probably eat better.
Fruits and veggies,
Nah.
I tend to be lacking on those, so I need to be more careful with that.
There's a reason I have vitamins.
That's not a bad idea either.
Anyway, I apologize for being tangential several times already.
It's okay. Also, I think we might need to give Ryda a new skill card, it seems. Because people think that when Ryda smiles, that should be an intimidation roll, so I suppose that's a new ability.
You will
That can
rarely
just-
see that ability.
That can just be an intimidation roll. Let's be fair.
When Ryder smiles, everyone has to roll against fear.
Some weird variation of mean look, I guess. I don't know. Scary
Oh,
face,
no.
there you go.
Oh no! Yep. Scary face. Maybe. If Hydra wants scary face, I'm okay with giving it to them. It's not a big deal.
If Ryder starts smiling consistently, I'll consider it, but for right now, I don't think Ryder needs scary face.
Yes,
Okay.
Smiles will go for miles, but not in that way. Not in the nice way.
Okay. For now, Team Cheer is now in the process of leaving the tower. And I have to sadly put my favorite Mewtwo away.
Aw. Well, we could get the model to wear a t-shirt, that would be pretty swell.
That requires me learning how to model and edit textures,
I could
which I
talk to-
kind of know how to do.
I could talk to Sam about some fan art of Mewtwo, actually. He loves Mewtwo. Charlie Mewtwo, so.
Could do. Could do.
Could do. I might consider that.
Noibat, of course, pesters all of you relatively frequently on the trip down about what you learned and what exactly you all are going to do now. Florence and Luxray, however, seem to have a silent agreement that they aren't going to ask those questions because there's probably a good reason you all haven't said anything. Even the bard knows when a story should go untold. Oh no, is Tubby muted?
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Hi, Tubby.
Was I?
I don't know. Were you...
I
what was
saw
the
your
last thing you
thing-
said? What was the
I
last
saw
thing
your
you said?
thing. Yeah.
I said,
Ah, okay. Yeah, I,
did
didn't
not-
hear you.
I do not hear contemplative so I guess you were muted.
Well, there I am now.
That is now properly conveyed.
We're going back to Sea Spray and helping Shaman, Brooke says simply. That's the whole reason we came here, after all.
Tucker just gives a simple nod. Simple but very firm nod to that. Indeed, that was his focus as well. Though he's being a bit quiet because there was a lot to process up where they learn things. Especially for somebody of his age to, like, retain all that.
Poor Tucker. It must be really hard to deal with all that. Like, you just had the effective concept of existential dread dropped upon you.
It's the equivalent of, like, going to a third grader and being like, "Hey, champ, you want to learn trigonometry?" Like, it's good. You can totally understand it, I'm sure.
One day, billions of years from now, our sun is going to collapse, possibly into a black hole, or swallow us in an immense conflagration. And you have no concept of how immense that time span is, and you're either left like, oh, okay, whatever, or you're left with this immense fear that follows you for the rest of your life as a trauma.
Wee!
Guess which one I had?
Aww.
That said, Noibat seems a bit... not necessarily unhappy, but disappointed with Brooke's answer as they go to perch atop Ralph's head. Mostly because Ralph is currently the tallest person. Or Pokemon.
Yes, I'm tall.
You are quite tall. Just take Brooke's tactic and don't think about anything unless it's right in front of him. Oh my, how rash of you. You know, this was an awful lot of work just for one person. They squeak, head tilted slightly to the side.
Yeah, but that's what we do, where we help people.
I know! That's what pioneers do, but I don't... Do pioneers always go this far? I've heard of pioneers going into dungeons just to get an item to help someone, but this seems like a lot more.
It's good. Well, we're the best team, so we gotta do the most. Cause we're the best team. You're not right. You actually joined the best team in the whole system.
Tucker also contemplates Noibat's question, and he kind of pipes up. We saw that shaman go through a lot. I just want to help, and the rest of the team does too. Plus, we helped all the other shaman. In my opinion, we didn't finish our job.
That's a particularly noble sentiment, Tucker, Luxray says as they sort of follow up closer behind. Meanwhile, Florence wants to capitalize on the you're the best team thing, but I'm also going to read Brooke's response first. Well, this is also sort of partly our fault, too. So we're kind of picking up after ourselves, you know? Aye, they've got a point there, lad. When you join the best team, you've got to go that extra mile. After all them heroes you hear about in stories didn't just stop at the door, now did they? They kept going and going even when it hurt. Though, of course, they all had friends to keep them from going just a wee bit too far, aye? Well, I guess that all makes sense. I just wish I'd been more helpful. All I did was open the door. To be fair, kinda necessary to get here.
Without a door being opened, we couldn't... We really would have had to look for another dragon type. It would have taken days at least. You saved us a lot of time, and thus you helped Shaman in that process. The less time Shaman stays like they are, the better.
Well, yeah. Yeah. We'd never been able to anything without you. You're basically the only one who could help us, Rick says. And I really appreciate it. Maybeth smiles and laughs a bit. Well, I guess it's better to be a glorified Klefki than, well, useless. You'll find your place eventually. Just keep working at it. I'll do my best to help where I can, Burke says. Thanks, Brooke. That means a lot. I'm gonna move y'all. Should have done it while you were conversing.
Well, something weird just occurred to me. We have the HUD chat on the upper left of the game screen that everybody can see in the chat. But I never opened the program for that.
Oh, huh.
It's working though. I don't understand. All right. I just really well. Okay, cool.
As you all eventually make your way down the tower while you converse, and down through the... past the checkout desk, you could call it. Eventually you find yourselves back at the teleport hall. Though this time, instead of just Hatterene there, waiting patiently for you all, you find Alakazam as well, including a cadre of Luxray. The four electric felines turning to look not at the rest of you, but at the Luxray in your company. Florence moves behind the librarian Luxray. Friends of yours? Ah, good. I was rather afraid we'd have to sleep here again, Alakazam says with a good-natured chuckle, pulling at their mustache. Hatterene remains relatively passive. Tell me, did you have a productive discussion with the head librarian?
Yeah, that's you, big guy, and you like push Brooke forward. Unsure of how much information is wanting to be shared.
Oh, there's a lot of electric types here. Let's shove the water type in front. We don't know the situation. Shove the water type in front.
I don't trust myself to not talk too much.
Tucker seems to be, conversely, Tucker seems to be keeping his trap more or less shut. and just kind of gave Zame a nod and nothing else. Since he was told to be quiet.
Let's see.
I mean, Brooke is a fan of electric types. Yeah, I suppose in a way.
Look, that's only because I've made some of the most interesting characters for Brooke electric types. It was unintentional. Let's see. I need to have Noibat roll something.
Sure. For somethings.
It was about as protective as it can get. We certainly weren't making fun of you or anything. Florence just slaps his face. There's an audible echo of the sound in the chamber. Really? Well, I suppose I'm not quite Archimedes, but on the other hand, I guess I do have certain mannerisms that could be parodied. Noibat, trying to diffuse the tension, potentially failing.
That slow turn to look at him and then the slow turn back was canon, by the way.
Well,
I did
Noibat
note
is
that.
perched on your head, so...
All right. So it would have been more like a look up and then look back now.
It's literally impossible to look at somebody who's on your head. So you would have tried and failed.
Nah, it's just he stares straight ahead, slowly looks up, slowly returns to looking straight ahead.
Slowly pulls out mirror, slowly puts it away. Okay, fair enough. That's one way mirrors.
Oh, man.
Tucker does note the procession of cats and casually side-eyes over to the librarian Luxray and sort of, are you in trouble? Sort of glance. Dogs give the best anxious side glances.
They do. Is something the matter? For guests in general, looking at around at the group. Nothing in particular. We were just having a nice conversation with the archivist. Weren't we, Hattery? Hattering gets up from where they're sitting, begins levitating their bag into their hand. We are surprised that the tension is not cut by our movements. And they move to stand on the teleport pad. Oh hey, that has the lock point. That's hilarious. As tactful as ever. Your librarian Luxray sighs, moving up closer to Brooke. Is there aught the clan wanted of me? An awkward silence follows. Right. I didn't think so. Let's go. Clearly, the ones that used to be my family have no reason to talk to me anymore. I'd say it's a shame, but I have no regrets. And I move up alongside Hatterene.
Right, I will follow.
I'm not sure all of you can actually fit on that space, but, you know.
Are you calling me fat?
I'm saying that the models are big enough.
Accurate.
I'm saying the models are big enough that it may or may not be possible.
It's right in here.
I will try. Tucker's probably the one that fits easiest. Well, right it too. Family issues. I guess they just wanted to check up on him or, like, get an idea what he's up to, but... Good, this isn't like a group arrest or something. I wasn't sure what was going on.
Just a very awkward family situation.
Also, that
FBI,
joke.
open up.
Vera said, totem pole, stack them. Farrah says, wrong PMD. Yeah, that one. Nobody played
This
the
isn't
Weaver
World of
title.
Final Fantasy.
Oh, Brookline.
Brooke shrugs. Your loss, if so, but not my business. He moves to the pad as well.
It's gonna... There we go. It works. Kind of.
How do I activate this again? Noibat looks down at the pad. Hatterene tilts their head to regard Noibat briefly. That will be unnecessary. Though your presence will give us entry to the path. Exiting the tower is quite easy. Oh. Okay. They droop a little. Slowly, the seal underneath all of you begins to light up and glow. Bit by bit, each of the concentric circles. It almost is as though the energy begins to rotate and circle around all of you as the glow brightens, before it fully envelops the group. One of the Luxray off to the side moves closer to the panel. If I can grab them and not Ralph. You will be making a report next time, won't you? The librarian Luxray gives them a side eye. Maybe. But I have better things to do than come back here. And then you all are off. In a flash of light. Whoosh. Or whatever teleport noise you prefer.
Squaddle-aw.
We're off.
Squaddle-aw.
It's from the Zelda CDI, if you don't know.
Those guys seem real fun at parties.
Okay, they need to kill.
What was that, Ralph?
They need to kill.
Yeah. Oh, you can put that back with the... Wait, what? Oh, let me try. Huh. Oh, there it is. It's just very exact. It's very exact, actually.
It was just being funky.
Actually, it's good that it's exact, because otherwise it would end up in the other magazines here. Did Ryan just say something out of sarcasm? I think that may have been out of character.
Yeah, that was out of character, right? I wouldn't have said that.
Says Ryda, the life of all parties.
Yeah, it would have been very ironic for Ryda to say something like that.
So those guys were just in the tower too, I guess? The other Katos?
Yep. Not that any of you ever saw any other Luxray at any point.
Makes sense that Tucker did. I imagine the librarian Luxray is trying to avoid them.
Not necessarily. They aren't psychic types.
That's true. X-ray vision helps a bit, though, but I guess you're having X-ray vision versus other things that have X-ray vision, so at that point you're kind of just even matched.
Yep, that's not the one I meant. There we are.
There we go.
Lock it.
Music transition?
Yes, we may return to the Dragon's Path.
Okay.
This is also a good time to remind everyone to get water and stretch.
I think it's Dungeons 3.
I think you're right.
It is Dungeon 3, number 4.
I think I will get a drink. Be right back.
I've been coughing a fair bit, but I do have drinks. That's the annoying thing. Okay. Just gonna do a volume check real fast. And I'll pull the feedback.
And while Kyrio gets a drink, I will grab mine from the boosters. Because I
That is-
wanted to chill it.
That is fair. I'm covered for drinks, but I have to consider dinner later. You know, I think I'll do sandwiches. Turns out there's a lot of really cool jams in the grocery store nearby here. I found a strawberry kiwi jam, and I was like, oh. I also found strawberry rhubarb. I've never had rhubarb, but didn't try that one. Can you sing the Dragon's Path song? Maybe later or something. Maybe when I'm not coughing.
Walking through these hallowed halls with the team that I have balanced.
Have Ralph sing the Dragon's Path song.
It's actually the Dragon's Den music, but with lyrics put to it.
Oh, there's a song that's somebody
look
put
it up
lyrics to
after.
that? That's cool.
Yeah, it's the like it's like right before you get to Red, and there's 2 parts by Man on the Internet actually.
I might
There's
look
2
that up.
parts to it. Yeah, and they go through the whole like Dragon's Den music with the team that I have balanced, echoing through mountain walls, and then like about halfway through the video, it stops and it like fades into Red's music and like and like Red starts singing to his theme, and then it's like a dueling. It's like a duet. They're going back and forth with Red's theme, singing about how like could you be the one to like pass the torch.
That's cool. I always thought, you know, Dragon's Den was a neat dungeon. Also, I always liked how Dragon types really got the focus in Gen 2, like the proper focus. Because, like, despite there being new types for Gen 2, I think Dragon types got like some really good just attention. I mean, after all, it's one thing to have a, you know, type-based gem in a Pokemon game. That's normal enough, you know, the gems having a particular type. But, like, the Dragon-type gem also had the Dragon-type dungeon next to it as part of going to the Dragon-type gem. So there's just a lot of extra attention put to Dragon-types in that game. And Dragon's Den is a neat dungeon, too. Did not know you were sick. I'm not really properly sick. I'm just coughing a lot.
I was sick.
Oh, you were? Kind of lucky I wasn't
It
sick.
was a not fun weekend.
Oh, yeah? Due to getting sick or due to something that made you sick?
Being sick.
Ah. Also, I mean, I don't know how this trip's going to go, but I'm crossing my fingers for... see, I don't know where this game is ever going, but I have some amount of hunches as to what might be used music-wise in particular areas, and I will simply say that there is some accompanying music to the Dragon's Path theme that has not been used yet, and I hope that it gets used, perhaps.
I
soon.
want to use it, and I have plans that may eventually involve its use. I'm just not sure if we're going to use it now.
That's fair.
You
notice my wording being very careful, because I'm just like, oh, I love this song. Sometimes it's just like, I love this song, I hope it shows up. But of course, it's all up to the situation, which can always change with a tabletop RPG, because the players also influence what happens as well as the DM. So it's never possible to say for sure what's going to happen. Which is actually part of the fun. That's why all Pokerole... Welcome back. That is why all Pokerole music is effectively optional music, because it's always a case of this might be used, maybe not, though.
Right. You all return to the Dragon's Path. It's a familiarly claustrophobic and dark cavern. Especially once the light fades, leaving you all to have your eyes adjust to the dark. Except for Luxray, who doesn't need to. Right then! There's a slight echo as Florence's voice is a bit loud. Any of you remember the path home? Considering how long it's been? That is a good point. Do any of you remember what way we took?
Tucker kind of shakes his head.
I was more busy looking at the walls and the ceiling and all the decorations with the bones. This place is really interesting, so I wasn't really watching the path.
Can I make a roll for it?
Sure.
Somebody
I
was
also
paying
make a
attention,
roll for
perhaps.
it, assuming I was watching them go through the dungeon.
You were unconscious for a period of time.
Yeah, I was gonna
so
say, I don't think so, given
Darn.
the whole unconsciousness thing.
you would not have been able to. Also, your orb does not let you clairvoyance into the path. With good reason.
Probably wants to chew the bone. Tucker was not paying attention to all the dragon bones because he wanted to chew on them. Maybe.
Burke, you may give me an insight survival nature. Which you actually have.
I'm gonna spread us back out now that we're not cramped in a teleporter pad.
It's a 4.
Ah, that's pretty good.
Unless you're golfing.
Well, I don't know, that might be par. You vaguely remember the way back to the Council's chambers from here, but it has been a little while, and also you are not entirely certain of the exact nature of the Dragon's Path and if the caverns shift or not. But you have an idea? It's almost like you're the leader or something.
I think it's this way. And he'll just start moving.
Tucker will look around warily and follow, and we'll also mention...
So, are we gonna get attacked by a portal guardian again?
I kind of hope so. Maybe we can get directions from them.
Doubtful. There is no guardian for this portal.
That's convenient.
Katarina's right. What? No movement?
Oh, hold on. Let me see about that. Ah, did you delete the... When you were cloning them, did you delete the original?
No?
Okay, hold on.
That is weird.
Huh.
How odd.
It's like cloning... Oh, cloning them may have done something weird.
I'll
Well,
just leave it.
I can fix that. Just give it... You'll have to just continue the scene. I'll fix it.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just one of those things I thought was weird. It doesn't really matter.
It's nice for them to run when you pick them up. Makes it where obviously you like interact with them.
Anyone foolish enough to go after the tower would have to contend to every psychic within, not to mention the archivist. Isn't that right? Partially. There was an intruder that the head librarian had to deal with, no? We happened to witness the event not long ago.
Did they come through here?
Indeed. There is no other way. You would have to be particularly powerful to breach the walls from outside, through any means. There is a reason that most psychics are unable to teleport to and from the tower. They look over to Rida. Aside from the obvious implications of distance. But the entire Dragon's Path serves as a sort of security system. This tower, the tower, however, and its entrance are remarkably close to... There's a deep pause. You all didn't notice before, but the lights that would normally line the cavern walls are out. It is far darker than you remember it being. It feels almost as though the walls are bowed out by some great presence. Sorry, I have to laugh because I lifted it up and it doesn't run.
I checked the new models. Apparently, on the new model set, the latest version of the Pokerole models, Luxury is broken in that set, so that's good.
Oh well.
He's a blue cube in that set, unfortunately. It's fine. This'll do.
Everyone on the team is free to make insight survival alert checks.
How dark is it?
Very. There is no light.
Okay. I forget, because it's been a while since this has come up. Tucker's kind of got a dark vision though, right?
You do. Also, there is no light aside from Florence. But that's because he's Florence.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, Brooke and Rida.
We're
Making my job easy.
What was the check? Because Tucker...
we're all blind.
It's insight survival alert.
Okay.
Yeah, we're real blind as hell.
Does Tucker get any bonuses for dark vision in this situation?
The check is not as hard for you.
Okay. That works for me. Gotta capitalize on those character advantages. What? Oh, right. I never joined the table properly. I was like, why am I white? Ironically, that's closer to Tucker's color than purple. But...
Charem, oh my god, you can't just ask why you're white.
Ah, gosh.
That's one of my favorite movies, I'm sorry.
I also wanted to say that, but I refrained from it.
I don't even know what the movie is, and I just have to ask, how did they not notice sooner? But okay.
It's from Mean Girls. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Okay. I might look it up later and see what the context is.
So, Tucker, the fur on your back stands on end as you feel this immense presence overhead, but when you look up, you don't see anything.
Can he see anything in any direction that's of note? Or is it just a sense?
It is just a sense.
So only Tucker senses something's off. Everyone else is oblivious.
Aside from the fact that this pathway is obviously darker than it used to be, or at least how you remember it.
Tucker will relay this in saying,
I can't see anything, but it felt like something weird was above us.
That should not be Though we ought to keep ourselves quiet. Hatterene relays, somewhat cryptically, as they move a bit closer to the front. Why? Noibet tries not to squeak and fails.
I'm guessing the dragon's guard is up because of what happened.
What, the fact that we beat one of them and made it through? Florin says like he did anything.
I was more thinking that something got through after us.
Oh, right. I thought as a bard your memory was supposed to be ironclad. I don't think now's the time to be nitpicking, librarian. Should do a roll for Noibet too. Noibet's ears twitch and they look around. Did anyone hear that? You reach a dark fork in the path. So, Brooke, do you want to give me another insight survival nature to see if you remember which fork it is?
Absolutely.
I mean, you can do better than one, so there we go.
Fair. You remember that you came from the left. Though even as you lead the team down that way, you have a weird feeling of deja vu wash over you. And for a moment, it almost seems as if the cavern before you is distorting slightly, curving like it shouldn't.
This doesn't seem right.
As you proceed, Florence's light manages to spookily illuminate a dragon-type skull hanging partially embedded in the ceiling, jaws agape above you. Well, if that ain't terrifying, he mutters.
As long as it doesn't fall.
Tucker adds.
Okay, I get that of something.
Could Tucker make some sort of hearing roll?
Let's let Ralph go first, and then you may.
Okay.
It's still dark as hell, right?
Yeah.
Rex, for whatever reason, none of the lights that are normally around are here.
Florence lights a few things up, that's it.
Yeah, I'm turning to the electric. Hey, aren't you an electric type? You like the flash? Or something?
Luxray gives you that look of someone who wants to tell you that that's typist.
I mean, the flash is a low-level electric move, and I figured you're a high-level electric type.
Squints very slowly.
He's staring right through
Fine,
you
if you can't,
with that glare.
He can.
if you can't
He
do
can.
it.
I'm trying to help us keep a low profile. Not that Florence helps. And they light up the end of their tail. It provides a bit more illumination.
Yes, yes.
And yes, Tucker, you may make another insight survival alert.
I just realized the yellow star-shaped thing on the end of a Luxray's tail would be a really good, like, nightlight to, like, plug into a wall. That'd be kind of neat, actually.
It's adorable.
So yeah, Tucker's thing. I wanted to mention that the first whisper, which only Noibat seems to notice, Tucker did not hear it, but he did notice Noibat mentioning that, so he's kept his ears a bit more swiveled since that first mention. And when another sound perhaps came around, Tucker might hear it. So, what roll would that be?
Insight for survival alert.
Okay.
Also, Hyper is right. Flash is a normal type move.
Oh, that's, huh? I guess that's
Yeah,
true.
I know. It's hilarious. It just makes the exchange all the more comedic.
I feel like it changed. I'm gonna look that up, see if it changed at some point.
No, I think it was always a normal type move. It's just assumed to be electric.
It's because a lot of the earlier HMs were less typed. Like, some of them could be typed but weren't because they wanted more Pokemon to be able to learn it, I think. Because HM, you need it for utility, you know. So.
Maybe it did change.
Yeah.
That brings up dire implications of what the move actually does.
Oh no.
Well, look, it's Pokemon. All Pokemon can use energy. It's just using that energy to make yourself light up like a light bulb.
I never thought of it that way. Like, how can a non-electric type do a flash? Well, okay, there's one way everybody can do a flash. Goddamn.
Especially if it blinds everything.
My eyes! My innocent eyes!
Well, it doesn't work. They're already naked. They're Pokemon.
Honestly, there are a lot of ways you can create flashes of blinding light. So
That's true.
I would not be surprised. Also, Flash is like a very
nifty
uncommon
chemical
move.
reactions.
Yes, Flash is a very uncommon move to see anymore. So
It's not very useful. Question mark. I don't remember what it does.
I think it's an accuracy lowering
Is that it?
move.
Is it like Sand
Which
Attack?
I mean, yeah, which I mean, Sand Attack is as effective.
Is it a 2-stage?
Yeah,
I believe it's 2 stages
Okay,
instead
so
of
it's
1.
better than Sand Attack.
yeah. It was downgraded from HM status to TM status in Gen 4.
Makes sense because honestly, it was just a fucking chore. It's like, hey, this area you can't see unless you do something that lets you see. It's like it's not very fun. Like the other, you know, Surfy's fun because it's like, oh, I'm Surfy now. But Flash is just like
I still think it would be funny if in Scarlet and Violet there was an equivalent to Flash and it just turned your ride Pokemon's eyes into headlights. Just do the glowy. Right. Tomfoolery aside, Tucker, you hear a soft hissing whisper, and as you round the corner, a bit behind the rest of the team, you see it. Overhead, this looming skeletal leviathan. We have found you. Oh, of course, Luxray is the Bulbapedia for Flash.
Says the luxury in the example.
typist indeed. Wow, that coincidence.
It's a luxury using Flash on the floaty ghost doll Pokemon.
Oh my god. The typist comment is even more appropriate.
So I have a question. Is Eternatus available?
Oh my god. So first off, I'd like, well, yes, for, that, yeah, I think so? Hold on. Let's hope it's not also a cube.
Everything is cube.
Wait. No, this set of, wait. Brain, please focus. This, no, Gen 8 does exist here. Alright. Wait, is it G-Max or non-G-Max?
Non-G-Max.
Okay.
G-Max would be bad for you.
It's a question that has to be asked with this creature. Okay, let's see what we got. Also,
Well,
while
yeah,
I look for it,
'cause-
I will express that Tucker does not immediately say what he notices, but Anybody who is staying anywhere close to him could probably still notice him freezing up and staring. And I assume the voice is heard by all. Okay, I'm gonna pull Eternatus out over here because I have no idea what size he'll be.
Considering there's an amount of hushed conversation, let's give people insight survival alerts.
Okay, meanwhile, I'll mess with the model a bit. I'm sorry, what? Order? Okay,
I'm betting there was an attempt to make it so that the Gmax could be a transformation like the Megaforms.
That's true. Also, I need to remember something with the models. I need to look at Rida real fast. I believe top link. Keep the top link. There's a trick with them that I always have to do. It's pretty simple. I just have to remember. Oh. Nope, that's right. Don't keep the top link. My bad. Switch the top link. Or, I think that's the case. Take secondary, make primary? That's it. That's what you do to remove the base. The base is problematic, actually,
so
I
no.
have to remove it.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ralph doesn't hear the whisper, but Brooke does. And Rida probably just barely notices the whisper.
No, excuse me.
Feel free to size it how you
those-
like. I do not remember this thing size.
By the way, for those who haven't seen Eternatus, hi Eternatus! Frightening creature.
It is a pretty neat Pokemon, actually.
I'm kind of into it.
I like its eyes. It has a lot of them.
It is a thing, alright. I love it. It's this eldritch horror of a monster.
Skeletal's a good way to fight it, too. Oh. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, did we hear it behind us or in front of us?
Above. But I can't put it above you, so I'm putting it there.
Well, after a moment of pause in which some people might... Hold on a second, Hatterene is tilting. Oh, there.
That's fine.
After a moment of pause, Tucker will shout out, kind of breaking the silence thing.
Above us!
Brooke will obviously look behind him and above him.
Luxray lifts their tail as Florence tugs off their hat to help give a little more light, revealing, almost like a viper eel in the depths of the ocean, Eternatus looming above you. A great skeletal leviathan of a creature. Its dimmed crimson lights flaring to life, casting this distorted cavern passage in sanguine hues. We had wondered where you'd gone. Our patience is rewarded. And they begin to reach their skeletal needle-like claws down, reaching first for Tucker and Rida, and then over towards Luxray and Ralph as well.
I want to ask a quick question. Eternatus was brought up at the Dragon Council, if I recall.
Yep.
But he was not present.
Yep.
Okay. Just double checking that because, yeah, as far as Tucker knows, he's not part of the Dragon Council.
You will have never seen this thing before. You don't even necessarily know that it's Eternatus. Except for Hatterene.
Okay, so yeah, aside from Hatterene, there's not really any knowledge of this creature.
Which, by the way, sorry to interrupt, but Hatterene goes to say something and she vanishes into the floor.
Okay.
She noped out of there.
Was that like a shadow sneak or something else?
It reminds you of Shadow Sneak, yes. Sorry, what were you going to say, Kyrio?
Brooke is just gonna say, "Run."
That's a good thing.
That's fair.
Run.
Yeah, I hate when he says that.
I suppose in typical Ryder fashion, they will try to reach for Tucker and use teleport to get out of the way of the grab.
Oh, that's fine.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, look at that lumbering run.
Tucker will
I love it.
originally start. Tucker will start to run, but upon feeling right, his hand will halt for a second.
Alright, I'm gonna do something weird. I'm gonna do a contested accuracy roll to see if they can get there first. Where's the grapple?
It's a lot of numbers for a 4.
Snorlax's run is great. I just remembered that.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's so casual.
For anyone wondering, when I don't have direct stats for things like
Oh, no.
legendaries, I default to using 10 dice. With good reason.
I mean, that's fair. That's a fairly fair number. Late game legendaries, etc., probably should have 15.
I know, but it's one of those things like, off the top of my head, you know what, 10 seems fair for this threat.
Yeah. Oh, that's fair. I'm
Okay.
just contemplating, like, yeah, but later I bet they'll have more.
Yeah, like Dialga would have like 15 or something, maybe. Maybe Arceus has like 20, 25.
Enough dice that I shouldn't be rolling it normally. Normally.
Like for a really powerful creature, you could just go by rote and be like, 15 successes. You have to beat 15 successes.
I could, but that's mean, at least at this stage. Florence, by the way, is swearing up a storm as he is running.
Fair enough. Who could swear more, a sailor or a bard? They both know a lot of colorful language.
A bard can do it in more languages.
That's true.
Meanwhile, Ryda and Tucker. Ryda, you start to teleport, and you feel this intense pressure, almost like a grasping hand that is holding your power at bay.
Ooh.
As the skeletal claws reach over and they stab into the ground around the both of you, and you also vanish.
Specifically Ryda, or both of us?
Both of you.
Okay.
No, not this again.
This time we got taken first.
Hey, look, you got a preview of what's happening. Run as you like. We will find you, little intruders.
Oh man, now you chase us. Now you call me little.
Wait, what's it look if I make Eternatus run? Oh, okay, it goes into, like... Huh.
He just floats a bit more.
It's actually surprisingly graceful.
Yeah, it sort of swims in the air, and for those of you that look back as you run, the dragon's path distorts around this creature. Almost as if its very presence is too great for the veins of the dragon's path to usually contain.
Is it even moving?
It is.
Okay. Sorry if it was just bothering to warp things.
It
rather
is
than
this
actually moving.
unnervingly sinuous and silent movement. There's just this very dull, muted, rumbling, rippling noise as it forces the dragon's path to accommodate its bulk.
Wow.
It's almost like a low electric hum.
Make it roar if you use pestle attack. Cool.
Right then.
I can usually think of crazy stuff to try and buy time, but I can't think of anything.
All right. I need the initiative card.
That is fair.
Sorry.
That's fine. Our old initiative is not important anymore. You can delete that.
That sucks.
It does suck. Took her by a trites thing, but it was too fast.
Enjoy that turn order.
Oh. Okay, turn us cheating a little bit, are we?
Eternatus has already taken a turn. We will be merciful. Brooke, are you going to run, or are you going to do anything else? You are currently running as a group through the Dragon's Path. At this point, you are completely off the rails. You have no idea where you're going.
Also, wait, is it Eternatus? I always said Eternatus. I always said Eternatus because I was like, Eternal! I don't know.
I call it Eternatus.
Eternatus, Eternatus,
As actually,
whatever.
phonetics with Pokemon is sometimes hard to, like, what's canonical is hard to figure out sometimes.
I prefer Eternatus, personally. I don't care how other people pronounce it.
That's fair. Either way, it gets across what you mean. I was just curious.
Okay. I have a plan.
I think I am just gonna run. For now.
Okay. Right then. Give me a Vitality Survival Athletic check, please.
Oh, those two
Oh.
ones were make that
Oh.
too, right?
Oh, if only.
no.
Oh boy, that.
I wish I got off a lucky
And then you
chance.
tripped on a rock.
Yeah, unfortunately, Brooke, I will play this off as you desperately trying to think of a way to get everybody out of this, and the distraction of that making you run slower.
Yeah, probably. Makes sense.
Alright, oh, okay, Luxray has to do this. Well, Luxray does a bit better.
That is a pretty solid roll.
Florence also does okay.
I like the run animation for Florence. It's just, this looks so like I don't want to be running right now, but I guess I have to.
Oh, well then. Eternatus is going to make an attempt to get Brooke.
Okay.
You may have your choice of what you want to do to try and deal with that.
I guess I could try and dodge out of the way.
Alright.
Sadly,
That
not a
would
lot of
be-
useful items. I looked at your items too while you were looking. I was like, It's like, use the drill. I don't know.
I mean, there's the escape orb.
Oh,
Yeah, I
true.
could use that, but I don't want to leave anyone behind. is the
that would
problem.
that would get everybody in the current group back to Savant Town, right? So,
It would get you out of the Dragon's Path. I will say that might have interesting implications.
Yeah, I was planning on saving it until after we've regrouped.
But yes, it would be a dex fight evasion if you wish to evade. It shouldn't be hard. He rolled a 2.
Not trying to throw any shade saying this, but Fair said, why do I feel like this is playable helplessness? And my first thought was, because Carr likes doing those sometimes.
I do.
I don't mind,
I do
though. They're
occasionally.
interesting.
Yeah, it's fun
Wow.
to try and It's fun to try and soft lock pick these, though.
Yeah, like you did yourself, Tubby, with making a character in that coloring book, or that, not coloring book, but the book that,
Y'all break my challenges, and it's fun.
yeah, it's fun to
Yeah,
see that
it's part of
happen.
And part of the reason for certain aspects of playable helplessness is, 1, there are challenges that cannot be defeated via combat. And 2, there are challenges that are just beyond you.
Ralph, it's
Like
fun that,
this.
yeah, it's also fun that Ralph described it in that way, because just the other day, Pikaspray on YouTube released a new softlock picky where he plays a Pokemon game and tries to get a save file into a situation where it would take you, like, 80 plus hours to escape an area.
Oh gosh. Yeah, so you notice as the claws of Eternatus reach down to get you, Brooke, and you duck just in time as they attempt to clasp around you, and you can feel the air above where you were distort.
Also, one hell of a roll there, by the way.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, right?
That's enough to get you into gear and back towards the front of the group.
No time to think. No time to think.
Really epic,
Just like-
like Dark Souls dodge roll from Brooke.
Just like, nope, 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 nope. Alright. That's Eternatus. Noibat's turn.
Do we have like a chase music?
Oh shoot, we should probably put on some chase music. shouldn't we?
I will always change music, but I have to be prompted first. Do you want something chasey?
Yes, something chasey would be nice.
One moment, then.
Oh boy, poor Noibat. Ralph, you may go ahead and decide what you are going to do with your turn.
Just had the Final Fantasy IX run theme in my head, and I'm like,
That's
that's
a good
very
song.
nice at the moment.
I like that song.
The first thing that came to my mind was Tetris 99, 10 players left.
Oh yeah.
Could
The
you
fight of
check
the
this
Bumblebee.
for me, Carr, before I click it? Battles 2:16 might work.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that good? I haven't heard it.
Yes.
In a while. Okay.
That is fine.
Oh, it's that's what this is. It's a remix. Sure, why not?
I'm sorry, Ralph, what were you going to do with your turn?
This guy's awfully fast. So we're gonna try and make him not so fast. I'm gonna stretch my big gross tongue out. I wanna slap this thing with my tongue.
That's an interesting strategy.
That is, you may. Go ahead. I want to see this paralysis go off. That would be hilarious.
Also, the Monster House thing was always good for like, oh shit, this is not a good situation. So you know, it's good for stuff like this.
Also, I'm sorry to take Rita and Tucker out of the fight immediately.
It's all right.
All right. Roll your paralysis chance. I'm not going to make you roll damage because I don't think you can take out its HP at this moment. You can if you want, for the sake of your own satisfaction, though.
Posterity. I mean, strength plus 1. If I can even breach its
That is a good point.
Unfortunately, the
That's
song isn't loading
6
for me.
dice, which is nothing to sneeze at. Which that absolutely does not go above its defense. I'd be amazed.
Yep. What's not loading for
Anywho.
you, Kyrio?
The song.
Aw, sad.
It's not playing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Alright, here we go.
Hold on a second.
Yes!
Oh, shoot. You got the paralysis off.
Whoa. Whoa, nice. 4, 5, 6, too. Nice number.
He's just so stunned by what you just did.
Ralph, you extend your tongue and, like, whip your head back, and you manage to wetly slap across a very small section of whatever you would call this visor plate that Eternatus has. And it slows slightly, but notably. At least notable for y'all.
Also, Kyrio, check the Pokerole PMD, our little private thing in a second.
Oh, okay.
Since you can't play the song, I'll give you a YouTube link.
Oh, thanks.
Wait up, guys! As Noibat begins to fall behind. Alright, let's see.
Fair is like, his plan worked? It is Ralph. If anybody's weird, absurd plan is going to work, it's going to be Ralph's. Ooh. Who was that roll for?
Oh no.
That's Eternatus.
Oh.
For some reason, they seem to ignore Noibat.
Oh,
Oh, because Dragon.
for some reason.
Gee.
That one
It-
took
it's-
5 seconds to figure out.
Yeah.
He called us intruders.
That gives me another idea.
Quick to rationalize.
Actually, if any of the characters do notice this, they could point out to Noibat that he's basically not a target, and maybe Noibat could do something.
That is a good point.
Yeah, I think Brooke will mention it. Hey, Noibat, it doesn't look like he's chasing you.
It's not. Looking up, seeing the thing just hovering further above is like, oh. Well, what do you expect me to do then?
I don't know. No time to think.
This is true. Because, oh right, Eternatus gets to go twice.
Yep.
That 8 is going to go after Luxray.
Luxray is gonna get 8. Oh wow, almost fought it.
Almost. And then one of these tendrils that extend across Eternatus' back swing around and scoop up Luxray, causing them to also go poof.
Oh, so close. Who wins a tie again in this situation?
The defender, usually.
Right.
And this one's going after Florence.
Alright, he's got 2.
Let's see if Florence can beat that. He can't.
Florence, like I said, the model barely looks like he wants to run.
Oh, bullets!
God.
As it hovers over you, this creature seems to lean its strange skeletal head down. I know you like. We are inevitable. Your condemnation is nigh. Brooke, it's your turn.
Brooke is gonna say... What?
He's like, I can barely hear him over the kick-ass 007 remix.
Brooke is gonna say, whatever you do, make it count, and then give Noibat bravado.
Aw.
You know, this might be a good time to know what Noibat's moves actually are.
Not
I think
much.
I don't think he can do anything right now.
can he at least attack it or just get its attention in some way? Because it's not focused on him.
Tough contest, dude.
It should be tough contest performance for this one.
Yeah.
There's no way you're intimidating Eternatus like that.
Doesn't Noibat have roar? No, I don't think.
That's
Maybe.
2, but it's still a success, I guess.
That is enough to give the bravado to Noibat.
I'm gonna use another turn to try an ice gun. See if I can freeze him.
Pardon me. Ignore that. Go ahead.
Stack the debuffs.
Let's see. Dex fight channel -2.
Roar. Noibat squeaks in Eternatus, and then Eternatus just like, soup, he's gone.
Well, it's Dex Fight Channel -5 because of the accuracy down on Ice Gun.
Oh, right. Fuck. Let me see. Let me try that again. Oh, that's a 4 though. That's 1, so it'd be 5. How many did I just roll? That's
Yeah.
5.
When a boss is way above your level, stack debuffs.
Yeah, that's a 3.
Alright, well that'll hit. Feel free to roll damage and then your statuses, which is, in your case, it'll be 3 flinch and 2 frozen.
Oh, you were thinking supersonic? Yeah, that is a thing, though. I was actually kind of thinking supersonic with Noibat.
Special +4 and it's stab, so that's another die, right? Or just yeah.
RNG
watch the
privilege,
video.
let's go.
That's a 2. And then for the flinch, it's 2 and 2.
3 flinch dice because
And
you
plus
have.
1, yeah. It's a thorn. And the
Oh wait,
spear.
do you have 3 flinch dice? Oh yeah, you have the Razor Fang. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Alright, flinch it.
Yeah. 3 flinch.
Make it flinch. Make it flinch. Make it
Aw.
flinch.
No.
No.
RNG privilege hat, do it again. I
2.
really want this thing to flinch.
Wait, what was that? Wait,
Oh,
say it
you want-
again. What did you say?
Oh, it's frozen.
It's frozen. That's even better.
Oh my god! Oh my god, it's a Draken! Too! So like that would be
Oh,
really
yeah.
effective to me.
Shoot.
Alright, super effective. So I should add +1 to that damage.
Yeah, I just remembered.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll an extra. Is that no? It's a flat +1.
No, it's a
That's
flat
right.
+1, yeah.
Right. I'm thinking of criticals. So Brooke, you turn around, almost seeming to expect like you're going to get caught doing this.
Yeah.
And you unleash the ice gun and you freeze it almost like this really macabre chandelier against the ceiling.
Wait, did he manage to freeze the whole thing, or just like the grasping hand coming down on him?
I'm gonna say the whole thing because I like the idea of frozen just hitting the whole body. Probably shouldn't be the whole thing, but I like it for this.
Well, he was hovering near the ceiling, right? So I could imagine like this icy blast basically just kind of gluing him to the ceiling in some ice, which actually would be pretty fitting.
Meanwhile, Noibat, panting and heaving as they try to keep up with you.
Won't hold him for long. Keep running.
My little wings can only go so hard, Brooke.
Grab onto me.
They cling to your tail as it sways back and forth, getting them flung around. I'm sorry.
I've gotta try to lie to the dimensional weird god dragon chasing us.
Do you even know what this is in character?
No. No.
Okay.
I would have no idea what this thing is, but this is a hunch based on that they weren't chasing Noibat.
Also, I'm really thinking about this more and more. That ice gun made a lot of sense. Eternatus is really spindly, so if you went for like the slender neck or whatever, totally could like glue him to the ceiling through that, like just silly that section to it. Wouldn't be hard at all. If you did it right.
You all make clouds of dust kick up as you skid and turn a sharp corner to try and get away. You can hear the cracking of ice behind you. Okay, so what do we do now?
Exact times.
Can I ask?
Yes.
Now it's been a few turns of things happening. What's up with the rest of us? Where are we? If that's an applicable question, anyways.
It is. I'm trying to wait until this sequence finishes.
Okay, fair enough. We'll do the sequence first.
Yes.
He's waiting for you all to fail, is what he's saying.
Well, either that or to escape, which might actually happen.
Okay, where are they going, though? Like, environment. That might be good to note at this point.
I should describe that at this point, they have no idea where they are in relation to the council chamber or the 2 teleport pads.
Yeah, that's fair.
They are now very much lost in the labyrinth that is the Dragon's Path. And here, the bone structures and the unnaturally dimmed crystals of dragon energy are arranged in less glorifying ways. It's hard for them to notice because they're currently running for their lives, but they're more so in positions that might relate anguish or despair for the skeletons. And many of the crystals, rather than forming closer to the ceiling or on the walls, are embedded in the ground. And the only reason you all would be able to tell at the moment that they're there is the occasional sort of reflective or smooth surface by comparison to the rest of the rock around you.
What are these rocks? I missed that bit.
The dragon energy crystals?
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, they are just dimmed at the moment because of the presence of Eternatus.
Yes. But I have a plan.
If they contain energy, maybe it can be harnessed.
My plan is as
Put
like
no
a
bet on
tiny
it.
chance. Tell me, yeah. Stick no bet on the crystal.
Here, absorb this.
Get Dynamax Noibat. Tell me. It would still be a little bit smaller, I think. Anywho, tell me when Noibat's finished.
Noibat was finished screaming. Brooke saying a thing. Do you want me to read that out? No worries. We gotta lose this guy and find our friends, Brooke says. Assuming we can hide from this thing. You're a dragon. Can you sense anything about where we're going? I don't know. I've only been here twice, counting now. I could try if we're not running for our lives. At this point, you 3 may make vitality survival athletic checks again. I want to see how far ahead you get.
I have one hell of a vitality. Holy hell!
You should. Snorlax should have some.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Maybe. Except...
Well, actually, Noibat shouldn't be rolling. I'm sorry. They're clinging to Brooke. Being outrun by a Snorlax. It's only because Ralph has the endurance.
Indeed. Alright, probably noticing... Alright, I'm gonna... Alright, so this thing's still, like, it's broken free from the ice. It's coming at us, huh?
You could hear the ice breaking last I described.
Yes. Alright. I have a plan. I don't think it'll work, but it'll be a glorious way to go if it does.
Oh no, more sacrifices.
Yeah. As soon as he comes in here, like eye shot. How dare you chase a fellow dragon? I have the glorious dragon heritage, and I'm gonna charge up a dragon metronome to sell that I'm actually a dragon.
Oh shoot, you have dragon as a type. That's right.
He's gotten a lot of them at this point.
Yes.
Total.
All right. You may roll your accuracy then. But yes. You hear the ice shatter, which I suppose you take as your cue to sort of stand guard for Brooke and Noibat continuing.
I have a fun suggestion. Have you used your lucky hat yet? I can't remember.
I was gonna, but Brooke let the freeze. So yeah.
I have a thought, just something that I think might be clever for you. I'm just gonna bring it up to you as a suggestion. Maybe you use your lucky hat to give yourself 2 options between what you roll.
You could do that if you want.
If you wanted to like sell it with a really good dragon move, and the first roll is like, oh, that's not really much of a dragon move.
I'll allow that. Normally, I wouldn't say I would allow the reroll before.
Like it's like the second result stands even if it's a shittier move.
Fair. Well, like if you get a shitty move, suggest for rerolling. That's basically what I'm saying.
Yeah. You know, what's the best is Dragon's super effective against Dragon, so I'm guaranteed at least 2 damage.
That's fair, actually.
Dragon Hammer.
What the hell is that? I don't think I know that one.
It is Strength, Fight, Brawl, Accuracy, and Strength +3 for power.
I've never heard of this one.
Alrighty. Roll the accuracy of it, or just roll the damage?
Go ahead and roll the accuracy of it for this. I know I haven't made you roll accuracy on metronome moves very often. And then you may roll damage.
Oh, that's why I've never heard of it.
Yeah, Strength, Fight, Brawl.
There's specifically 2 Pokemon that learned it, Executor and Tropius. No wonder I never heard of this move.
Yeah, it's a really weird thing. It's a good move.
I lost count. Let me just let that ignored. I wish I wouldn't, but I lost count.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My fun facts were just too distracting for him. He lost count.
I think you have 10 dice.
I do. Holy shit, this is quite the accuracy.
Oh. If only Ryda had gotten Lucky Chant off.
I mean, I have the hat. I'm gonna hat that accuracy because I feel like it could die.
Okay. Brooke, you get to hear Ralph make his declaration, and the dragon crystals underneath you sort of start to light your way as Ralph pulls the dragon energy back out of them, giving Ralph some illumination as Eternatus turns around the corner with its jaws open, looking like it might try to swallow you, of all things. You may go ahead and roll damage.
Right,
you know, if somebody fucks up a roll and doesn't finish, like, select all their dice, but what they get is good anyways, could they just go like, oh, I'll just stop there? You gotta redo the full roll, right?
I might not make you do a full reroll. I might make you roll the additional dice.
Okay.
Oh wow, it rolled terribly.
Alright, so strength +3 is...
Yeah, strength +3 is the damage, which is good for you. Oh shoot!
Oh, Bravado does actually apply to everybody.
Oh, it does! Add 2 dice to that accuracy roll, sir.
Okay.
I want to see if that crit.
Oh!
That crit!
Wait! No, didn't.
Nice.
Sadly.
So another...
6 successes.
Wait, but there's 2 1s now.
Yeah, but he got a 6. I'm going to.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to ignore that 1 in favor of the 6.
Okay, fair enough.
Nice.
Yes, so I believe you add 2 damage dice.
Nice. Alright, so my damage so far is 2.
Unfortunately, you did not roll terribly high.
Yeah. And
That's
2
better
more,
then.
so 4. Yeah, so 4, yeah.
How do you want to deliver the Dragon Hammer?
Right square on the forehead. It'll lift it up, and it will have it crashing down like a Tinkaton on a crow Pokemon.
So you're manifesting a literal hammer of dragon energy for this.
This is fair.
Isn't that how it's the move's supposed to be?
Let me read the description for you. The user uses its body like a hammer to attack the target and inflict damage. So if you want to coalesce something, I don't see why not.
I'm cool with however Ralph wants to do it.
Yeah, I'm thinking the giant hammer is the cooler way, like, and like as the camera pans around him.
The camera pans around Ralph as you bring both your hands up, drawing the Crimson Dragon energy up with you. It makes this really rad-looking dragon hammer. Briefly, you think, oh man, it'd be cool if I had this all the time, and then you bring it down with a crash.
Yes.
That causes Eternatus to slam into the floor of the already distorting dragon's path around you.
I am a mighty dragon as well, and you will not disrespect me.
This close, it almost sounds like they're speaking in multiple voices.
Point, you're the imposter.
Oh my god, the take damage animation for Eternatus. Watch this. Watch how it looks. Look how extreme this take damage animation is. It's like doesn't even care.
So, Brooke, you can make me one more Vitality, Survival, Athletic roll. Oof. Well... give me one sec.
Yeah,
I know we're kind of ignoring turn order somewhat, so...
it's fine, DM rules. Also, a little fun fact. It seems like Dragon Hammer was added with Sun and Moon.
Yes.
Was it Sword and Shield? And then when Scarlet Violet came around, they were like, fuck this move, and it's a useless move that needs to be forgotten. That's kind of weird.
Because there's no Pokemon that can use it.
Oh. Yeah, only Trophies and Executor can, because I guess the point is, like, they got long necks, so they, like, slam their head down like a hammer.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I think is kind of dumb. It'd be neat to have other Pokemon use that move.
That move could totally be learned by others. There's other dragons with long necks.
Tinkaton! Fucking Tinkaton! She literally has a hammer.
Which one?
That would be funny.
Wait, which one?
Tinkaton is a steel fairy in Scarlet and Violet that has an actual hammer.
I've never heard of this one, so... Oh, wow, okay, well, holy shit! How are they
really
building that? They're very small.
But
yeah, that makes literal sense. Why would they not give that Pokemon Dragon Hammer?
Because it's steel fairy.
I mean...
It'd be a little bit less than...
I guess, yeah, to be fair, they don't have a single dragon move in their repertoire, I see, so...
Yeah. Anyway. Noibat looks up and spies what appears to be a hole with handholds in it as Brooke rushes past. Wait! Up that way! They try to point with one wing barely hanging onto Brooke's tail. And I'll let Kyrio type.
This is fine. In the meantime, chocolate muffin.
Brooke quickly shifts directions to do as he's told. No time to think about it. You're kind of right. Yes. Go ahead and give me a Dex Survival Athletic this time. Because I don't think crocodile are known to be good jumpers. Nope, but you make it anyway. Thankfully, there's a skeleton nearby that you are able to climb up. Respectfully, air quotes, in order to get to this other passage, climbing your way out of, hopefully, what will be out of harm's way. As Eternatus attempts to get at Ralph.
It's not too. That's not a super good roll.
Insect.
I told you I'm not a bug type. I'm a dragon type.
Are you gonna evade, clash? What you gonna do?
What you gonna do when I come for you? Let's see. Let's see. Evasion is 4. I have 5 dice to evade. I would have to get all successes.
Well, you'd have to get 4 successes, but yes.
Alrighty. 5 dice to do it. Alright, Fate, let's tempt it. I have 1 more hat left. Stave off. And I'm
you're gonna need that hat.
I like to stave off Fate as long as possible. Ah, so close. This like whoosh.
We shall enjoy your imprisonment. They seem to speak even as their jaws open wide and snap over you. And we may now return to the Dragon's Path. Music.
Oh, okay. I guess that's fair, actually, yeah.
Well, temporarily, while I go find something a little more grim.
More grim. Anyway, am I on top of these guys now?
You are with them, yes.
Alright. Do I like appear or do I get to like fall from the ceiling down on them?
That's what I get to.
I mean, you can fall from the ceiling, but things have been going on in the interim. And this is kind of why I wanted to wait till the sequence was done, because people got caught first.
What's something grim?
Yeah,
Let's see.
so it'll be like a little bit of a rewind.
Some suggestions you can look up. Tell me which ones work. Events to 37 might be a decent one. I'm not sure if that one would work. I'm not personally checking these because that would cause me to whiplash the mood of the video. 36 as well could be good.
$36.
Okay.
Definitely 36.
Alright, if you want Grim, if it's 236 is definitely gonna do it. Hopefully it works for you this time, Kyrio.
Speaking of, Brooke, after a few minutes, you can see the light being blocked by Eternatus' bony body as it slowly swims its way through the air beneath the hole that you went up in. The light of the crystals flickers and dies in its presence, only to return in a slow and gradual growing glow, letting you know that it is past. Its hissing, sonorous voice echoes through the passages. Wherever you have gone, little intruders, you will be found. You cannot escape. Put that away for now. Nope, that's not the right one. In the meantime, let's rewind a little bit.
I think I already know which one you want. Hold on a second.
I'm betting you know which one I want to.
Do you want this one?
Yes. Yes, 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 yes.
Which...
Tucker, Rita, and Hatterene find themselves in a dark cell. It's spacious for what could be considered a dungeon cell. The stone walls are like obsidian, but rough, in spite of the fact that it gleams and shines. Outside, there are pale, almost sickly dark red stones that give off a dim light, barely illuminating your current incarceration. Hatterene, for their part, is swapping expressions as they stare through the bars of the door, seemingly infuriated but also fascinated by this development. Their hat hand is flexing, clenching and unclenching repeatedly around the handle of their luggage.
Did we appear here in but a blink of the eye?
You did. There was something of a falling sensation, almost, like you were being dragged lower and deeper into the dragon's path. But the next thing you knew, you were here.
Oh, what? Why the felt...
Huh?
Oh,
Tommy?
because it filtered arse. I was making a joke and we're in Karserus.
I can see it, by the way. I do not know why it's filtered. My name has always been like that.
I think I have the filters off, so it didn't affect anything for me.
Yeah, it's because of arse. Man. We're in Karserus shaded.
Okay, save your puns for when you're in jail too.
Okay.
Tucker will take a moment to recollect himself and catch his breath as he realizes that he's in a different place. He kind of looks around the, admittedly not that large, I assume, cell.
Well, for you all it's somewhat large. For a dragon, it might be cramped. So, for you three, it's still fairly spacious, even with 3 Pokemon in the cell.
Be a shame.
After a moment of looking around, then Tucker will acknowledge Hatterene and Rida and go,
Are you guys okay?
I am intact.
We are not. We'd hoped to never see this. How dare that impudent worm? Does the pact not stand? Or would the Lord of Condemnation give no care?
Tucker will approach Hatterene and simply ask,
You seem to know what's going on a little bit more. Do you know why we were, jailed?
At the word jailed, they slam their luggage into the cell door, causing it to rattle noisily as they vent their frustration.
That makes Tucker jump a little bit, stepping back a minute.
They have their head tilted down so that their hat, the brim of their hat, covers their face. That unnatural fiend is the one known as Eternatus. The one the dragons call Lord of Condemnation. Prison Warden. Master of this portion of the Dragon's Path. There are so many residual feelings here. And they slam their luggage against the cell doors again.
This is really bad for us. We're trapped in here with Hatterene.
Tucker doesn't seem as shocked the second time and actually perks up a bit at the mention of other emotions.
Are there others here?
Tucker asks sort of carefully.
Of course, she spits out, and then takes a shuddering breath. We apologize. This place, it is saturated with many feelings.
Tucker does a nod.
Actually, I understand. When I've linked with others that were conflicted, I felt something similar.
Were we not imprisoned, we might be fascinated. But inquiry must wait. We must escape. Nothing good can wait us here. At the least, we may yet rot until we die. And at the worst, Eternatus may take personal interest. Sadism, fury, despair, seeping into these stones. They sort of hunch a bit and slowly sit down, seeming to sort of hug their bag on their lap.
This is somewhat similar to a panic attack that they're having, actually, in a Hatterene sort of way.
We cannot even create a cloister here.
Tucker shakes his head at some of what Hatterene said.
No, we're not gonna sit here and rot.
He approaches the bars and checks them out. What are they made of? How large are they? And what can he see beyond?
They are very large, in fact. Large enough that it would contain a dragon. You feel as though someone of your stature might be able to squeeze through the bars, but it's ill-advised. your instincts tell you attempting to do that particular trick might not end well. They're made of this metal and crystal structure. You're not quite sure what it is. It doesn't necessarily seem sharp, per se. But you can glimpse, even in the dark, thin strands of crimson energy threading their way through the metal, through the crystal, giving the bars a sort of internal outline.
Tucker considers that for a second, sort of furrowing his brow.
I don't know if this would work, but
Could he attempt to Shadow Sneak with just his paw to see if he can get past the bars under them?
You may. As a question, is there anything Ryda is doing at the moment?
Ryda was gonna sort of attempt the same thing as Tucker, but use teleport, but I'm gonna let Tucker go first, just sort of observing. Ryda's inspecting the bars as well, looking around, seeing what, just checking things out.
Tucker's being slow about this, figuring it's probably not this easy, but...
So, you try to Shadow Sneak, and it feels different. Something about here feels different from normal. And you've gotten good at figuring out what is different from normal Shadow Sneak at this point.
Done enough times.
And you're able to put your paw through. You can vaguely see it on the other side. And then the fur on your back stands up. And you pull it back through just in time for a sort of spindly figure in the dark to pounce on where it was. There's this chittering, almost insectile hiss as a pair of pinprick red eyes lift up to look at you through the bars, before whatever it is leaves off into the dark. Beyond your cell, aside from that particular moment, it is very dark, dimly lit by those stones. You can see, just outside your cell, a wider open space. What appear to be pillars, altars, something out in the middle of that space. Given the way it's set up, there are probably more cells around here, as well as more paths to more, well, prison hubs.
Did Tucker get a good look at that creature? What did it look like?
It vaguely reminded you of the creature that caught you, but also more like a bug type. It was spindly with its limbs. The claws that tried to catch you were made for grasping, you could tell. And it looked like it had antennae. But clearly Eternatus does not suffer non-dragons in its presence. It certainly doesn't remind you of any dragon type you've ever seen.
The appearance of that creature does make Tucker's eyes go wide, but he was kind of stilling himself for something when he tried his little sneak. He expresses to the others,
I guess there's guards even if we did get out. We look ready to attack.
So, I assume Ryda also saw that. For like the split second it was there.
Ryda might have gotten a bit of its silhouette, since Ryda does not have the same dark vision that Tucker does, but you would have definitely noticed Tucker pulling their paw back sharply.
Okay. I was gonna check through the lens and see if I saw like its footprints through the bars, or any sort of ground markings.
Oh right, you've got the lens. I forgot about that. Where's that item? You can. So looking through the lens, it highlights the footprints. The tracks seem very distant from each other, almost like this thing is leaping from place to place, or perhaps it's climbing on the ceiling or walls. But you can see the glow of the tracks as they start to fade through the lens. They're strange. Almost in a sort of X pattern.
Do I get the sense that there's only one set of footprints? Like there isn't multiple in the room?
You can't tell, unfortunately. At least not as you are currently.
Okay. Well, Rito will express, I do not intend to be a prisoner. And they will try to, slam the orb into the door.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and roll for a strike. Unless you plan to use a move.
I'll do Psychic to give it some oomph.
No, I'm sorry, the Seer Orb has its own rolls, I'm done.
While observing what Rita does, Tucker will also be keeping tabs on Hatterene since they seem a bit unstable. Four.
You slam the orb into the cell doors. There's a rattling clang that resounds and echoes, resulting in several other noises coming to your attention. Distant roars and rattles from other cells. Unfortunately, the door is still intact, although one of the bars is now bent. Meanwhile... Oops, sorry.
I was just gonna say Rita is gonna try and strike that bar again.
Okay. I will let you continue at that, if you wish to roll again. Meanwhile, Hatterene is sort of muttering to themselves. No, they can't be real. It's just a myth. But it explains so much. Sadism. Fear.
Do I have the -2 penalty?
Yes, you'll have a -2 penalty.
Okay, just being sure.
Yeah, you also can't use Psychic again for it, but you can use another move if you wish.
Oh, I just used the Seer Orb, I didn't use Psychic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oof. Not as good this time. It seems the bars are strong. They're still holding. It's also around this second time striking the bars that you hear a certain familiar set of voices. Yo, bollocks! It's your own fault for falling on your back. Nearby, but not in your own cell. I don't want to hear it from you. You got caught the same time as me. Ugh. Blasted bone worm. Didn't think we'd run into him of all things. It can't be helped. We'll have to try and find a way out. Find a way to the others. We can't do any good if we're stuck here forever. Aye, and there's no way they're gonna let me play my favorite tunes in here. There's an awkward silence, but you can probably tell that Luxray is giving Florence a look.
How clear or muffled is this dialogue from between cells?
It's relatively close by, so they're probably in the same hub as you.
Okay. Tucker will go ahead and do a
scene
call
from-
out then. Oh, go ahead.
The scene from Madagascar comes to mind where they're all trapped in crates and it like slowly lights up each one.
Oh yeah, the first one, the first movie. I remember that. Tucker going to do a call out.
Mr. Luxray, Florence, are you guys over there?
Hi! Sounds like the young pup's here. Least away is not nearby. Unless this prison's a lot larger in cell size than we think. Does it particularly look like it's larger in cell size, considering we're still lighting the place up? Fire's fire. Sometimes I wonder how oblivious you are. Are you well, Tucker? Are others with you?
Tucker kind of obliviously does a nod for a second before realizing they can't see that.
Yeah. Rita and Hatterina here, too. Nobody else so far. I wonder if it... Did you see the others get away or anything?
I hope so. I was still kicking up a good sprint last we were here. Maybe some of them got away. Otherwise, I think they'll come be... wow, words. They'll be joining us shortly here. In one of these cells. Aye, of course we won't be staying here now, will we? You can hear rattling from a cell nearby. Oi! Come on and open this up, you blasted boneworm. I'll show you what for. On even ground. When it's lighter out. There's a brief hiss, and you can hear Florence yelping. Ah, what in the blazes was that?
Tucker will pipe up.
I tried a bit of Shadow Sneak and they immediately attacked my attempt. I don't know what these guards are, but they're not very friendly.
So it's true. There are Pokemon that do serve Eternatus. That's disturbing. I don't know if I'd call that Pokemon or not. Ain't seen nothing like it. Well, even I've heard tales of the Dragon Eaters.
Dragon Eaters? Is that what they might be?
Tucker asks kind of curiously.
Why? At least, I think that's what they are. And it's about now that Ralph is going to fall into Florence and Luxray's cell.
Oh no. Next school on top is the question.
I'll leave that up to Ralph.
Roll a die.
No, I'll leave it up to Ralph. Ralph can pick.
Oh, man. Considering he's quadrupedal, I think it would be... Florence's reaction would probably be funnier. Yeah, I think I'd turn Florence pretty... I think I'd turn him one-dimensional for a moment.
Okay.
Oh! Of course, they wouldn't live out. They'd kill me. With something from above.
Oh, guy. It's really cramped in here. I don't really have room to land. But I did smack it with my tongue, and then I made this big hammer, and I smacked him again. I tried to convince it I was a dragon type. He didn't buy it.
Rolf, I can't pay you
Say
for
again?
your stories if I'm dead.
What? Say again? You're asking me to do something?
I can't pay you for your stories if I'm dead.
Oh, you want me to get off? Oh, I better do that, huh? Dang it. I can't grab me over. There we go, we just lean to the side and let you crawl up.
Also, because of the way that Toxtricity runs, it's really hard to rotate it because it looks funky.
Tucker kind of got an idea of what was happening
Imagine
over
we're-
there, of all the dialogue. He's been paying attention.
Yeah, I imagine
So-
we're squished up a little close.
Tucker will actually call out and get Ralph's attention.
Ralph, what's going on out there?
Yeah, well, I bought Brooke and Noibat, I think enough time. Oh man, you should have seen it. Brooke froze him. I stood him with my tongue, and then Brooke froze him in place, and I bashed him over the head with a hammer. Hopefully they got away.
Well, I guess we'll know in a bit, since everybody just keeps appearing nearby if they didn't get away.
I'll tell you what Ralph was trying to do. Florence shakes his fist and glares at Ralph just a bit. Can't very well sing and play if my lungs are squeezed out.
No, shush.
I don't know, it might be an improvement. At least for your whistling. Now that's just uncalled for.
So, what do we got? I approach the cell doors and pick.
You seem...
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Tucker will, as Ralph looks out, Tucker will relay the information they have so far of the guards and such.
Ah, neat.
Ryder
I
would
bet
like-
it creates a lot of extra work if we spring a bunch of these cells.
Tucker will actually, since he didn't bring it up to the other groups, Tucker will note Ryda's efforts and mention,
It seems like the cells are damageable, but I don't think getting out of the cell door is the end of the road for us. Those things, I don't even know how strong they are. And if there's multiple, it's hard to tell.
What was Ryder gonna say?
Ryder was going to ask out towards Ralph and them. What is the status of Brooke?
Wait,
Yeah, one track mind.
wait,
The last I saw, he ran on ahead.
wait, are you, trying to lean out of the cell bars or against the door?
No, Ryder was just sort of yelling that.
talking
Okay.
towards the
Okay.
adjacent-ish wall, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I am clarifying for reasons.
Fair.
Yeah. But upon hearing that, Ryder's going to use Lucky Chant to give a bit of a boon.
Oh, fair.
So before you roll, you attempt to use Lucky Chant. And you find that nothing happens. Your power is suppressed. It almost feels like the stones of your cell are leeching the energy from your abilities. And very briefly, it almost seems as though the sickly dark red stones outside glow just a little brighter.
This is prison. There is no luck here.
If that doesn't work, Ryder will then turn to Tucker and express, will you give me assistance in destroying this door?
Tucker will pause before answering and look over to Hatterene. Is Hatterene doing any better, or are they still in a bad state?
They're not looking great. They're still sort of hunched and sitting. It's more accurate to put them at like a corner further from the cell doors at this point. They're doing that thing that some people will do, like they'll chew on their knuckle, is what she's doing with her hat hand. Or what they are doing, I'm sorry. She is like she, they, so. But they're still muttering to themselves, and they aren't looking great, and they're kind of visibly trembling, but they also have a really frightening expression on right now.
Okay. Tucker will express to Ryda.
Sure, but hold on a second.
Tucker's not actually all that... he's a little bit intimidated by Hatterene, but he's going to approach Hatterene. He's not particularly scared of her, actually, because he kind of does understand the idea of, well, the reception of emotions and how they can make you feel if you're feeling other people's. So he's going to softly say to Hatterene,
Miss Hatterene, could I possibly help share your burden?
What? They blink. It seems as though they're looking up at Tucker, but the brim of their hat is a bit low. What do you mean? No, of course, connecting with others. That would make sense. If we break open the cell doors, they can get in. If we don't, we can't get out. No keys. Is there a lock? We can't teleport. What if... And they've just continuing to mutter to themselves.
Tucker listens to the mutterings best he can. It's hard for him to make them all out, but he's patient and lets her talk for a bit before expressing,
We're gonna try to break the cell door, but I think we need your help too, just in case once we get out of here. But if you're not doing well, then I think I should help you first. I can connect with others. I've mentioned this before to you, and I could help share whatever you're feeling, which might make it easier for you to deal with.
Ryda also seems interested by that prospect.
So I have a question. Which are you going to use? Empathy or sympathy?
that's a really good question, and I was thinking about it. Empathy is designed to share in a single ally's fate. That would probably be the more logical one to split an emotional disbalance with Hatterene. But sympathy, is also... Well, they're very similar to each other, right? They're similar but very different at the same time in subtle ways. In both cases, a connection is made with different purposes. See, sympathy is more designed for... I think sympathy is what Tucker has generally used when it came to connecting with other people's emotions and burying them with them. But empathy itself also has... I'm not sure. What do you guys think, actually? Those of you on the table, perhaps the viewers, too.
I feel like empathy is more apt here.
Can use both at the same time. Well, I've never done so. Tucker's never done so, but there's nothing saying he really couldn't, I suppose.
You may try, but I will impose a -4 on each roll.
Okay. -4 is pretty big.
It is pretty
Let
big.
me count my dice. Hold on. Vitality contests perform on both of them? No, one of them... Actually, they're completely different from each other. Vitality contests to support perform would be a roll of 8. And granted, you don't need much of a roll if the other participant is willing. Empathy is insight contest etiquette, which is a total of
7.
7. So, okay. So that's 8 and 7, I think?
Which would be a 4 and a 3.
Okay. You know what? Sure. Tucker will, of course, wait, though, to see what Hatterene reacts like. Though he will, if Hatterene doesn't say anything for a bit, Tucker will express...
Do I have your permission?
Yes. they say after a moment, very tersely, seemingly out of breath and at the same time still muttering to themselves. They don't even lift their head to acknowledge you.
Okay.
It seems they're too caught up in their own mind at the moment. Probably for the better.
Tucker will slowly and gently place their paw on Hattering's hand, I guess we could call it.
Mhm.
And he will attempt both empathy and sympathy, which is more risky to do together, but let's see. So that is a 4 for empathy and a 3 for sympathy?
3 for empathy, 4 for sympathy.
Okay, let's start with empathy.
Can I add something to this?
Yes.
I want to do the Heal Pulse Calm Mind combo again.
Ah. Okay.
I don't remember what the roll was for that, though.
Okay, 1 for empathy and 3 for sympathy then.
It would be Insight Fight Channel minus... I'll also give you a -4 for this.
Okay.
And you will need to spend a will, which I believe you've already ticked off.
I did not take off. I had 2 out of 3.
Also, good call, by the way. I forgot about your calm mind.
I did as well. Well, we'll say you were at full will by the time we got to this point, so...
I'm just curious to see what abilities the red crystals will, like, react to, which ones they won't.
I might have to make this a meld move, seeing as it's been used repeatedly.
So what is effectively you're doing? Calm Mind, Heal Pulse? What's that do?
Yeah, essentially it's using Heal Pulse, but instead of healing, it's calming someone.
Yeah, because Calm Mind is usually a personal effect.
Right, so basically it's a way of projecting Calm Mind.
Yes.
So, we'll do Raya's things first, even though it's kind of out of order.
That's fine.
Right, as you go to project this energy outward, you make it happen, but it doesn't reach, and you can tell it doesn't reach. It's almost like this very area is leeching your abilities when you try to project them, especially those that would help others. Tucker, by contrast, your ability with empathy and sympathy, the abilities of connection, seem unaffected.
They are not traditional abilities, so it kind of makes sense they may get around that, yeah.
When you connect with empathy, that first thread of connection, it snaps tight. You feel a tenseness throughout your body, in your chest. The anxiety, the fear, the rage and sorrow that Hatterene is currently being subjected to. These ambient emotions left saturating these cells. You can tell this isn't all of it. Hatterene is too disciplined to let you have all of it. But it's unpleasant. And it would certainly be understandable if someone wanted to just sit here and do nothing, even under this amount. With sympathy, that second thread winds around the first. And it twists your heart. Because you can understand that Hatterene is desperately trying to keep their violent species impulses in check. They don't want to hurt you or anyone else. Well, maybe not anyone else. Certainly their anger and desire for violence directed at the guards might be useful. you're also not necessarily privy to all the distracting thoughts, but you realize that your mind is also drifting with this sort of connection, trying to distract you from these negative and unpleasant sensations.
Fortunately, Tucker was kind of ready for quite a bit of this and does his best to focus and grit his teeth as he feels what he feels. In truth, he was never really scared of Hatterene because he already understood that while she had the ability to have violent impulses, that wasn't who she was, nor what she wanted to be towards those who don't deserve it. Hence why he was not scared of her. Tucker takes his time with his connection.
Hatterene slowly calms down. They stop biting at their knuckle, but they resume wringing their hand over the handle of their luggage. They lift their head, looking up at you and at Rida. You must look quite undignified.
Tucker refocuses a bit and shakes his head.
Emotions sometimes feel that way, but they also shape who we are.
Another reason to understand them. Isn't that right, Ryder?
Perhaps.
You must escape. If all your friends are not here by now, some of them must have. All the better. Get worse. Without a dragon to unlock the doors, we must force our way out.
Tucker gently lets go of her hand as they break the connection softly. He shakes a little bit, like dogs sometimes do when they actually are stressed. Sort of shaking off their coat, as if like they're wet, but when they're not wet. He looks a little bit burdened, but he'll manage.
As you were saying, Ralph?
Yeah, so you said dragons can unlock the door. Can they just like naturally do it, or they got like a key?
You are the strange one. The psychic Snorlax, aren't you?
One. Yes, yes indeed. As I crack my knuckles and ready out.
Oh yeah, he's strange alright. But in the best way. As Florence pats Ralph's shoulder, having completely forgotten he was crushed a minute earlier.
Yep. I almost turned him into sheet music. I'm gonna roll a belly drum to up my strength.
Okay. That is a good idea, if also mildly frightening for your HP. Luxray.
I have a lot of dice for belly drum.
Yes, you do. Well, so long as one made it.
Yeah.
Luxray, we trust that you understand what it means for a current to go through something, yes? Yes. Though, unfortunately, I cannot exactly see dragon energy. You needn't be able to detect it much. There are threads woven into the cell doors. Like veins, they permeate all of this area. Seeping into stone. Worming their way into everything. We noticed. Unfortunately, in our distraction, so there is energy in the bars. Yes. Perhaps if that energy was disrupted correctly, they would open. Or shatter, preferably. Prepare yourselves.
I shall prepare myself. I'm gonna stockpile.
Ooh, I forgot to
Headering.
ask a question, actually.
Yes.
When Tucker was taking on the emotions that Hatterene was feeling in the environment, there's something that I would like to know if Tucker could differentiate. Are those emotions past or present? Are those feelings in the environment past or present?
Yes.
Okay.
I know that doesn't help.
No, actually, that does kind of.
Hatterene will slowly stand up. They will try to make them... They'll sort of brush themselves off a bit and attempt to look dignified. They kind of succeed.
Yeah. And you start piling and buffing up since I have plenty of time in the cell.
Getting those one buffs.
So interesting point of note, Ralph. Belly drum
What
works,
happens
but when you attempt to stockpile energy, you find it sapped away by the cell.
Huh. Interesting.
Huh. That is interesting. I don't see the rhyme or logic. I was paying attention. It's not like a type-based thing where certain type moves won't work and certain type moves will. It's something else.
How long is a round?
A round is generally 6 seconds.
So Belly Drum
Okay,
and Stockpile are both special moves as well.
So, Hatterene is going to move a bit closer to their cell door. Or to the one she shares with Ryda and Tucker. Ryda. We
Yes.
must ask you to attempt to teleport again.
Is there a reason you believe it'll work this time?
Before, I thought perhaps we might not be able. But this isn't necessarily so. The more we force ourselves to study this prison, it's made to contain dragons. It's why the Dragon Eaters are guards. A dragon might be able to open their own cell, but leaving is a different matter. But these are all hypotheses. We must try. The moment when Ralph manages to break their cell door, we want you to teleport to them. You already know them, and they are also psychic. It should be easy. Merely a few yards. That way, when you're there, you will be able to support them as they and their cellmates break out.
Oh, that's a good idea. Quick
Thank you.
power nap, though.
Quick power nap.
Yeah.
I have yet to attempt this feat. However, I am willing to try.
Being willing and trying is oft all that is required. And Tucker as well. We saw you earlier, even in our panic. But we are unsure how your own movement ability works. It is different from teleportation, which relies upon coordinates and knowledge.
Tucker pipes up. If I can see where I'm going, I think I could get there. It did seem like my paw did go through, but that guard would be all over me before I could do anything about it. But if the others broke out of their cell first and caused a distraction, then maybe I could get through okay.
Anywho's, does rest work in this weird place?
Yes.
Oh, I see what he's
Nice.
doing. He belly drummed and now he's resting.
Yep.
Tucker also notes,
It technically should be possible for me to bring another with me.
has Tucker actually successfully done a Shadow Sneak besides himself, though? I don't think he has. Like, brought somebody along with him. I don't think he's done that. Has he?
If he has, I don't remember. I think he might have, but it wasn't in this sort of situation.
He's totally aware he can.
I think he might have brought an object with you.
Well, theoretically he can, because he knows that Rise can do it. Rise did it with him once, so... An object, yeah. So Tucker will relate.
It's technically possible for me to bring another with me, but I've never actually done it.
Do not worry about us. They're starting to shake again. We will survive.
Hey,
We've
hey.
been learning for this exact moment.
Tucker nods and reassures.
If the others can break out of their cell, I'm sure we can break this open too from the other side.
Besides, with this cell shut, we are not a target. We would not wish to become a hindrance in what will clearly be a battle ahead. You can see outside, can you not?
Tucker nods. His night vision probably helps a bit. Or dark vision.
What were you saying, Tubby?
I was saying click gear switch, puts away his shield, equips the zapper. There's all that pre-battle stuff you don't usually get time to do.
Just Ralph doing all these things off to the side just to prep himself.
Meanwhile, you have the two electric types beside you. Let's see. What sort of buffs you got? You got a strength buff. Okay.
Yeah, strength, and I tried to stockpile, but there's no energy to stockpile here, or at least I can't grab a hold of it. I re-upped my HP, I knocked the will off. The will cost isn't denoted on these, but healing would be busted as fuck if it didn't always cost will.
All healing moves require will. All of them.
Like healing would be busted as hell if it didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, let's... Okay, you guys ready?
Well, as ready as it'll get. Florence having been buffing himself, and Luxray buffing them himself as well.
Yeah, we're like 3 Dragon Ball characters we're powering up.
Tucker will go ahead and put himself from the gate in preparation to try to sneak out.
I'm gonna body slam the door.
Are you sure you want to body slam, or did you want to use Dragon Metronome?
When the DMS, are you sure? Most of the time the correct answer is, hold up, let me rethink my answer.
I am asking because you seemed interested in the fact that Hatterene implied that a dragon was needed to unlock the cell door.
Yeah. I mean, as tempting as it is to try and use my own muscles to do it, well,
It's also a good question to ask. It's also a good question to ask. I wonder if the crystals have a counter. Like, if they're trying to focus on certain types of energy, maybe they would shatter easily to a different type of energy. It's a good question.
Anyway, let's try a dragon metronome.
Though dragon does beat dragon, so I guess that would work either way, or as a decent check.
Side note, Hatterene is also fairy type. They have not attempted any fairy type moves
I
at the
was
moment.
thinking about that. Like, Tucker doesn't have any damaging fairy type moves at the moment, so it's not like he could do anything with that. But I was thinking fairy might counter this.
Ooh, nice.
Wow, okay.
Whoa, that's a good roll.
Right.
Hey, guess what you got again?
Oh, did I get the hammer again?
You get the hammer again!
No, that's perfect, though. Like, if you want to smash a game,
Yeah, I can smash it over
alright.
there.
that's what a
Strength.
coincidence.
Strength plus 3.
Gonna do anything cool as you notice what you're creating again.
It's like, put my hand to the side, boom, summon a hammer. It's hammer time!
Oh my gosh. Oh. I am so sad at that damage roll.
Aw, and no more hats for that either.
There are no more hats. That is so sad. So, Ralph, you gather what energy you can, but even as you're swinging this manifested hammer, the energy is being sapped away by these prison cells and the stones outside. And there's this resounding clang as you dent out the cell doors. It's not enough for you to get through by any stretch, but they are bent outward at nasty angles, and crystal bits have shattered and flung out.
Alright. Yeah, looks like energy's just not gonna cut it. We gotta do it the old-fashioned way.
Well then, why don't you allow me?
Oh? I don't know, I'm pretty heavy.
Oh, I know. As Florence, instead of walking up to the cell doors, walks behind Ralph, he strums a few notes, and then thunder punches Ralph in the back. So, Ralph, go ahead and take a damage, and then make a body slam.
Is it like a supercharged body slam?
It is a supercharged body slam. Actually, you know what? I won't make you roll accuracy because Florence is behind you and you're right in front of the doors.
You are simply the golf ball being hit by the putter.
You are at strength plus 6.
Holy smokes! All right. It's like Smasher in the Willow Fix.
You are the bowling ball.
It is like that. You don't blame the golf ball for going the wrong direction. You blame the person who hit it. So.
Meanwhile, Luxray has sort of moved up to the cell wall, not wanting any part of that.
That is one hell of a roll.
Oh my goodness!
Boom.
That is a lot of dice. Holy crap!
There is, in fact, a boom. As Ralph, you bust through the cell doors and fly out, causing the silhouetted, quote-unquote, Dragon Eater guards to scatter and take some distance, hissing and chittering away. And as the dust settles and you pick yourself up, Florence is just rolling the arm that he used to hit you with, grinning that smarmy grin he's got on. And they say bards don't know how to hit. Wow, I didn't realize you had that in you. Maybe you really are an acolyte. Joe! I'm not going to dignify you with a response. Now then! And he goes back to strum a few more notes. Who wants to hear a song? Which, by the way, at this point, that is the cue for Ryda and Tucker to go ahead and try their thing, because you all would have prepared your actions.
Yeah. Let's let Ryda go first. Tucker was kind of waiting on that initiative. So let's see if Ryda's teleport works.
It's just standard teleport roll, right?
Yes, special fight channel. Which is a weird accuracy roll for teleport. Oh, hey, crit. You have no problem teleporting yourself over to Ralph's side now that he is out of the cell. And I guess within visual distance, dark as it is.
That's a lie I never thought. He said, "That's a lie I never thought I'd hear a bard say go to a fight." I don't know. This sounds perfect. The song is their weapon. That sounds intimidating if a bard said it.
Yeah.
So successful teleport, right?
Yes, it is a successful teleport.
All right.
With her pose and the like little dress thinglies, I imagine the the Princess Zelda teleport, the like Princess Zelda up B from Smash Bros. The bing.
All right, and then Tucker will do his Dex Survival Stealth. Let's see. And he's going to commit fully to the Shadow Snake, unlike the first test. Oh, that's not much of commission. That's not much committal.
Okay. Poor Tucker, you get all the spooky shit.
I really do. He will
So we
nonetheless
don't
be
move-
diving full into the ground in the Shadow Snake.
So we're not moving into combat music right away.
Okay.
And in fact, it's late enough, we might have to hold off on combat until next time. But, Tucker, you dive into the darkness of this place. And it's not like diving into water or shadow or into that dark that you can just swim and move through. There's a certain viscous weightlessness to this. And as you submerge into the darkness, above you, rather than pools of light, you see this winding, writhing network of red thread. Like spindly noodles with claw fingers and writhing serpents or worms, all interconnected and woven together. And currently, from where you dove into, it's almost like you've punched a hole in it that's already starting to mend. And it's difficult to tell what is where, as these shifting threads cast a sanguine glow above you, similar to the pools of light you're used to seeing that represent shadows you can move through. I see.
Kyrio.
A chilling whisper, sending frost up your spine. And when you look beneath from where it is, you see the gleaming crimson circular eyes of Eternatus staring up at you. Like a leviathan in the deep. Roll again in order to get where you want to go.
Shadow Snake's roll again?
Yes.
Okay. Advanced Darkness. No. I haven't learned Advanced Darkness yet.
The power of advanced darkness! Yay!
There's a SpongeBob quote. It's never a bad time for a well-timed SpongeBob reference.
Does this have a penalty, I must ask?
-2.
Okay. That would be 5. Oh no. Wow, that's an amazingly terrible roll.
Okay! Where does it head side?
I still have will. I will do it.
You may expend a will, but as a reminder, it will only be one success.
I mean, and it may do nothing if considering all those ones exist. Even if I did roll a 4 or 5, it wouldn't do anything. It would have to be a 6 to be
I
valuable.
wouldn't let a will point be negated by ones. That's unfair.
Okay.
You are spending a will to make that happen.
It's just such an impressive number of ones that it feels like...
Yeah, really. Oh my gosh. The dice just do not want you to succeed. They want you to suffer, and
The dice really generally like when Tucker tries to do more combat or like technical stuff, he generally messes it up. The only things that don't really mess up for him are emotionally based things.
What do you want to suggest, Kyrio?
Yeah, I'm interested in Kyrio's suggestion too.
Please give us a suggestion. Ah, you do.
My own network.
You have connection. Okay. Ah. I hadn't thought of that.
Okay.
So, rather than having you roll for empathy or sympathy, give me, if you want to do following a connection to one of your dear friends.
That makes sense.
Instinct, contest, allure.
Okay. I guess I should call it a friend, huh? Before I do it.
This will be at -4.
Okay, that would be 3. Then 3 dice. He's gonna focus on Ralph because that's the person he's formed the best connection with here of the current jailed group. So, 3 dice then. Don't mess up. Do you have to say that? Power of 1.
It's not the curse of 2.
I think I want the curse of 2 at this point.
So,
Here's a question. Does Ralph feel anything when he does this? Mr. I am now a psychic type.
Ralph will feel something. You will feel... What do you think of when you think of Tucker, quintessentially?
Young but capable. Like he's got the fighting spirit, but it's like buried deep inside, like his sort of cuteness and innocence. Someone who really cares about helping people.
Would you say you feel comforted around them?
Yeah, I think so. Being around them, it means he knows that they're okay and like the team's okay.
Okay. You briefly feel that sort of comfortable bond that you have with Tucker. Now I need Charem to roll me a d4 that I have laid upon your Tucker image.
Oh, okay. It's the D4 of darkness. It's very dark metal.
It is a Chrome d4.
I haven't rolled a die in a while. Let's see. Should I just flip it a whole bunch?
I was going to suggest highlight it and press R a few times because that should roll it properly.
Okay, let's see.
D4s are hard to roll.
Let's see if this works.
3.
3.
Let's see.
It's very ominously colored D4, especially for the situation.
2, 3. That works out like I thought it might. So, Tucker, you don't emerge from the shadows next to Ralph. In fact, you don't emerge in the prison hub with your other friends. You leap out of a wall and scare the living bejesus out of Noibat and Brooke.
Oh.
By which I mean Noibat screams.
Oh no. Tucker will immediately tumble and trip over his own feet and plomp on the ground. Very confused and a little bit alarmed with a screech.
I feel like we should end it there, because that's a great place for that to end.
Oh man, learn Sonic Boom. Hey, there you go. Learn to move.
Noibat, you screeched. It was super effective.
Fuck, Eternatus gonna fall. Especially with that screech. I was thinking the same thing. Oh no. Well, alright then.
Oh man.
Actually,
interesting times indeed.
This is not too crazy though, considering that if anybody has if he has connection, the most biggest connection he has is probably with Brooke. So ending up here does make sense actually. Happy accident.
What were the alternatives to that dice roll?
Why is this here?
Why is what?
Oh, there's a little green. There's one of these little green dots for a stat. I hope I didn't rip that off of something.
Oh dear.
I don't think I did. I'll check the stat sheets later on other tables.
Okay. In any case, I wonder if I accidentally moved it.
It might just be a duplicate. I don't know. It might. I don't know.
I hope I didn't. So 1 was Rida, because you didn't want to pop up next to Rida, you wanted to pop up next to Ralph. Ralph was 4. 2 was a toss-up between Florence, Luxray, and Noibat, and 3 was Brooke. Because Brooke is the leader, so they are the second best option at the moment because you wanted to be next to Ralph.
Interesting.
Technically, I could have had to roll a d6. That way, I could have had equal chances for Florence, Luxray, and Noibat, but eh.
If Tucker was utterly alone, he would have aimed for Brooke in the first place, actually. It's just the aim for Ralph because that was part of the group he wanted to get back to help, so, at that time, so.
So, everybody gets your standard 2 experience.
Okay.
And yeah, the party is now split 2 and 2. I thought for a second, it's like, you know, if Tucker continues rolling bad on Shadow Sneak, he's just gonna fall into Brooke's lap and be out of the battle.
The others could probably... They gotta... Like, there's enough manpower in the other group that having Tucker not there is probably fine. However, they're gonna be worried about where the hell he went.
Yeah. Oh.
Just, like, seeing him duck away under... Like, to go underneath the gate, and then, like... Okay, is he supposed to come out the other side? Where is he?
Up to third floor of the XOP.
I forgot to flip the thing.
Tucker still helped the battle, though, because Hattery probably wouldn't have been able to do much without... Speaking of which, extra experience?
Yeah, I will give you an extra experience for that.
Nice. One more, then. Okay. Do the others hear Eternatus from the shadows? I'm pretty sure that was only Tucker able to see and hear that, but I don't know, actually.
I'm glad you enjoyed the chase, even though it was quote-unquote unwinnable death.
He won, but no, I mean, Brooke won, technically.
I know, I'm teasing. I know I have a habit of that, but I try to use it only as sort of like a demonstrative tool rather than unfairness.
It's okay. I think the only reason that observation was something I noticed is because we've been actually using it a fair bit lately. So, there's nothing wrong with
true.
that.
Yeah, I mean, as why I wasn't really afraid of facing it. I knew
Good night,
that
Kyrio.
as a DM, I knew that as a DM, you wouldn't throw something completely unfair.
True.
So I turned to face it.
So the quote unquote unwinnable death thing that I've used a lot recently was the challenges from Hattering's Cloister specifically. I know, but those are supposed to be more skill challenges than an unwinnable fight. There was not necessarily an intent for you to fight the fierce stuff that comes from the statue, but it happened anyway. Same with, like, the Scarecrow. It's like, I expected you guys to pick something besides the Fear Book, but you got the Fear Book.
We really have been, whether intentionally or not, routing towards the spooky stuff.
It's fine. It's recompense for not doing Halloween sessions.
Yeah. Ralph's been able to deal with spooky stuff though. Even way back in the hotel, the tropical hotel or whatever. His spooky talent: lick, paralyzed, keep walking.
I should note, Tucker is getting a little more steely with everything, because in that situation with Eternatus, that very much intimidated him, but he kept trying to find a way out rather than panicking, so...
Oh gosh, that was hilarious.
I mean, at this point, y'all are going to become immune to fear, I swear. Traumatized children that you are.
I do like to do a Tucker do my save for later, to not interrupt. That's fair. There's going to be a little bit more out. Like, we're winding down now. Kyrio's already left for food. I guess he was really hungry.
Oh gosh. I can imagine a scenario where Tucker is, like, faced with something that's supposed to be terrifying. They look at them like they're just a nuisance and like, my traumas are bigger than you.
Kinda.
It's like, are you done? That episode of another SpongeBob reference come up.
I hope everybody gave themselves experience.
Where...
Kyrio left so quick, I hope you had an experience, Sheet. I don't actually know. Sorry.
You know that episode of SpongeBob where the Flying Dutchman goes to live with SpongeBob and he scares SpongeBob every day and he gets numb to it.
That was a fun session. 100. A lot of cool stuff went on, actually.
Yep.
And the comment, by the way, I was I don't know if you were noticing card during the recap, but what I was sharing was the Rita image and also the crazy 11-part thing, which I imagine you noticed in the fan artwork, because it.
Oh gosh, like the final image here is so goofy, and
I love the face. It's head
it's
empty,
Courage
head
the
empty,
Cowardly Dog goofy.
Head
That's
empty,
what it
belly
is.
full, and I love it. Also, just adorable lizard too, for that matter.
It is Courage the Cowardly Dog levels of goofy, cute.
Reese basically did the sketches for all these pictures, and then they commissioned. Assume they commissioned, or either asked or commissioned, the 11, like the coloration and the inking and everything from. What was their name? Their name was Gandere, which is on FA. They're on FA, and actually I'm gonna look them up later because I adore the silliness of their style. I'm gonna look it up more. You're right. That's exactly what it is. It's kind of like Courage the Cowardly Dog or some other like Nickelodeon shows I could think of too. Has that kind of vibe.
Look, Beerus, I don't know if I consider this necessarily something terribly special planned for 100. I feel like I should have done something more celebratory instead of more trauma.
Oh, it was a commission. Well, thank you for spending on that. I bet 11-part series like that didn't exactly cost nothing, so thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. And Attack Redemption, I can totally do that. Let's see. So, in reference to this image, or this image set, and the session, say it like you're full for the eating contest. Okay.
So full, can't eat another bite.
And a burp. Ooh, ham? Oh, ham! I don't have room for ham.
Oh gosh. Also, Tubby, one of my friends, thought of the exact same meme that you did and sent it to me.
Also, the whole something special planned, I get it, Car. Like, you didn't have anything special planned, but what he's basically saying, and what I'm sure a lot of viewers feel too, is that they did feel like something special was going on because every session has something special. because
Aw.
of the way you did it.
I
So someone else sent you that exact clip because
Yes.
it's darkness.
Yes.
I
It's
was like,
kind of great.
Fair, that you know what, that expression, I love the description the Fair gave. That look of, oh my fucking god, and hell yeah, I did it. Yeah, that is a kind of combination expression of both of those, isn't it? You ever had that moment where you can completely accomplish something, but you're also like, I'm going to die now. You're like, hooray, I'm going to die. Just lay down for
by the way, I mentioned the name of this area before, but now I can officially title drop the area like we're playing Dark Souls.
Ooh. Tell me, because that'll give me an easy title for the video. Or is that for next session?
Welcome, one and all, to Incarceri Sanguis, the vein of imprisonment.
Ooh. You're gonna have to spell that one on Telegram for me.
This is the domain of Eternatus, the prison lorded over by its warden. Hopefully, the team can gather together and escape. And maybe, with some amount of luck and some amount of skill, they can evade the Lord of Condemnation and find their way home.
That was a perfect time for the music then, actually. The track ended as you finish your explanation. That could have been more perfect. Also, very cool. And let's see. I guess next time we'll see what how everybody does with the Dark Souls dungeon.
Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put the description of this little subsection into the server.
Fair enough. Also, to answer Hyper's question, where can we find the full thing? All fan art is generally going to be in the fan content channel on the Pokerole Discord server, which you can access from my main server at, whatever the link was. Hold on. This link, which is in the description. You can access the main Discord, and then there's a connected service list, and you can... What is the official channel name of the connected service list? That is called... It is called Partnered Servers. The Partnered Servers channels will give you access to the Pokerole server. And from there, you can access the fan content channel and see all the art, or at least a lot of the art drawn for the game, including this set. But yeah, this was a very lovely session 100, I have to say. A lot of stuff happened. It was interesting.
Yeah.
Just very cool overall. Thank you very much for the session, everyone. And especially Car. But with that being said, let's see here. Okay. I suppose this would be a good time as any to do an outro. Session 100. What a milestone, but we're not done yet. Now, session 200. Let's start road mapping towards that, shall we? But in any case, this is a good enough time for an outro. So I hope you guys enjoyed this session and do look forward to, yes, definitely more sessions to come. Just because we had a milestone does not mean the momentum has dropped off. Obviously, far be it. We have a Dark Souls dungeon for episode 101 in 2 weeks on Wednesday. And I guess we'll see what happens with the Eternatus arc. So I hope you all join me very soon for that. And of course, there will be streams in the meantime. Please consider coming by them too, even if you're only interested in Pokerole. If you come by other streams, even just to lurk, helps out the whole, helps out all of my content if you come by more of it. So even if you only like some of my content, do consider viewing the other stuff because it just helps support me, gets me that revenue and ad revenue and all that stuff. It just helps. So do consider, even if you just like certain things. But in any case, I hope you guys enjoyed episode 100, session 100 of Pokerole, and I'll see you all in 2 weeks for session 101.
See you soon, prisoners.